And there we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. In this episode, we're going to be discussing episode 7 of The Bad Batch, and we're joined here by Iron Inquisitor, Jedi Knight, Sci-Fi Unchained, and art by AK.
What's up, bitches?
Hello.
Hello there.
And what about you, art by AK? Are you going to say something?
What up, people?
Yeah, there we go.
I was
Alright,
waiting
perfect.
for Jedi Knight, but
Oh, you said it in the true Slav voice. What do you guys think of our images here?
Very
Mr.
memeable.
Jaja Binks.
It is a unique set, that's for sure.
Luke, are you the
Actually,
Lego Boss Nass? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. How did you not know about that?
'Cause I'm blind. I'm blind, dude.
You know how in the
It's
complete
very
saga game-
recognizable, though. That's the thing.
I have huge muscles and poor eyesight. That's the trade-off.
just
I
like
have
Wrecker,
small
huh?
muscles and good eyesight, so we're basically polar opposites in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Who
All
wants
right,
to
so
start?
before we start with the actual episode review, do you want to say something before the start? What do you think about the episode in general? If you don't want to start first, I'll go ahead, and I'm just gonna say, after the first episode of the Bad Batch, this is by far my second favorite. That's for sure.
Really?
Completely agreed.
I really
Yeah.
liked it too.
Iron Inquisitor, what did you overall? I mean, we haven't had you here before. What did you think of the, let's say, first 7 episodes overall so far?
So far I'm really liking it. I mean, when they first announced the show, I was really looking forward to it because it took me almost a year to get to season 7, and when they did the Bad Batch arc in season 7 of TCW, I really liked them, and I was excited we get to see more adventures with them, and yeah, it's turned out pretty solid so far.
Nice. Who wants to go next? You, Logan?
I think the show is actually in a bit of danger.
What way?
Well, I'm analyzing this show in a couple of different ways. As a Star Wars show, that has a lot of leg to stand on in terms of what came before it and its potential. I'm looking at it in a way of it's only got 16 episodes, so each one has to, really hit home in one way or another. If it's sentimental, awesome. If it's action-packed and exciting and enthralling, if it's a exposition and lore dump, fine. But each episode has got to bring something big to the table because the season is so short, and I don't think we've had a season 2 announcement yet. I think we'll probably get at least 1 or 2 more seasons, but with the show being where it is at the beginning of the dark times, right? It can only go so far. It can only do so much. So it has a very limited window, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this image of this show working like breathing, right? With the first episode being this huge inhale, and it's action-packed and thrilling, and there's a lot of things you don't really expect to happen in a premiere episode. And then the second episode was kind of the exhale, and then we inhaled a little bit more, and then I thought the episode before this, episode 6, was a good exhale episode where it was just kind of the adventure of the week. We didn't get really too much, though. I kind of let it slide because I understand that you need those sort of thinning out episodes. Like each one can't be some, huge game changer episode like episodes 1 or 3. But it's teetering to me. Like it's not giving me as much of. I want the show to punch me in the face, and it's not punching me in the face with excitement and enthralling content. It's giving us good stuff. Do not get me wrong. But I can pick out where those good things are. Everything else of the episode can just go. It doesn't matter. I can't say that for episode 1. I can't say that for episode 3. Every second of those episodes were absolutely pivotal and important. I can't say that for these past 2 episodes.
Not even the newest one with Rex.
A couple of things about that. We knew Rex was going to show up. We didn't quite know where. We didn't quite know how. But we knew we were going to get him, and he was going to be a part of the batch getting their chips out. I do like him bringing them to sort of this Venator graveyard where the Empire just scuttled all of these Republic era ships like morons. I don't know why they did that. But I think the symbolism of that is probably the best thing to come out of the episode, aside from getting the chips removed and, Wrecker going full psychotic brain switch with his chip. Because we're seeing the last vestige of the Clone Wars being used to, I don't want to say as a device, but as sort of a symbol to edge our compatriots forward, to get our main characters, our main cast of characters, to the next point, right? So, all right, they got the chips out. We're a third of the way through the season. I thought, getting the chips out was going to be a little bit more of a struggle, or there's going to be some sort of obstacles in their way. There really weren't. And as far as Rex goes, it was pretty much, oh, hey, Rex, let me take you to this planet. All right, bye, Rex. That's kind of it. I know we're going to get him later on, and we're going to get everybody else along with him, Ahsoka, Gregor, and Wolf. But it wasn't enough to enthrall me.
Well, to some point, I agree. It's a pretty simple storyline when you look at it. But I've noticed, as a Clone Wars fan, and generally a fan of the EU, which I'll get into much later when we come to the planet Braca. By the way, for everyone who don't know, have you played Jedi Fallen Order, maybe?
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was the same planet, yeah.
I was going to say, I thought we were going to see Cal at some point in this episode, but I guess not.
I had the same feeling too, but...
Yeah. Well, we're on Braca, which is where you start playing with Cal Kestis, the Jedi Padawan who crash landed there. So damn. Just give me a sec, guys.
Ginger Jedi.
In a way,
Gingers.
Yeah. And now that we're at the start of this episode, I actually want to mention something. I remembered a couple of streams ago, somebody said in the chat that they wanted to see what's it called? The ship
Space
of
Battle?
the Bad Batch. Yes, exactly. And this is exactly what we get over here.
Just about to bring that up because I'm like, oh look, we finally get to see a space battle like we discussed last stream.
Yes.
I was trying to get a better look at these ships that are chasing them, but I don't know. It's unfamiliar as far as I can see. What do you guys think? It looks like a transport ship from Coruscant or something like that, but it's
It
not.
just looked like a bunch of random mercenary ships, honestly.
I think they're security ships.
That's probably the case, yeah.
It could be pirate ships as well. Because at the start of the episode, they talk about them stealing something that was actually stolen before that. So
Oh yeah, they're
maybe
stealing
pirates.
that lizard thing.
Yeah, here in the cage.
Yes.
Yeah, a little roly-poly lizard.
Yeah, we had
And
some
then
comedy here at the beginning, I'd say.
Yep. And then
Wrecker is
the
always
weird-
the character who's to, for the comedy, basically, when you look at it.
Comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
And
gets a
he is
lizard in
my-
his face.
Absolute favorite. My absolute favorite character.
I mean, we
Very
should be grateful it
entertaining.
wasn't. We should be grateful it wasn't a chest burster from Alien.
That would be amazing.
You know what I like about this scene here is that he's afraid of the lizard. Like, in a way,
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least it wasn't a chest burster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's afraid of heights, of lizards.
what else, huh?
Wouldn't he be
thinking
afraid of
right now.
Sid since she's a lizard?
Wow.
For his size, he's afraid of a lot of things.
Yeah, serious.
True. I think we
But
just created a
I guess
paradox.
that's the comic relief with him. He's a big badass. Technically, after watching this episode, I'd say that he's one of the most, well, not powerful, but the strongest clone trooper that there is in the Grand Army of the Republic. Like, even compared to the other clone commandos like Delta Squad and the EU guys, I'd say that he's.
There's actually. I don't
Yeah, go on.
remember. There's a clone who was that. Maybe I think he was Legends.
Yeah, it was
Or,
Legends.
I think he's no canon. He's a clone deserter as well, but he's something a bad batch, but he's even bigger than Gregor. And the clone who actually survived the first battle of Geonosis and got left behind by Jedi, then he came back later on and served under the Vader. He had a red scar over his helmet. He actually fought him and killed him.
Oh yeah.
I think Lore Master did a video on him. I think he did a
I
video on him.
remember.
What was his name though?
I can't remember, but I can't remember that, or was he Legends, or I think he was actually canon. Yeah, these are the new comics.
Yeah,
What
we'll
is
look him
that in? Is that does that have something to do with the Imperial Task Force 99? There's a huge clone over there. No, a huge trooper of some sort.
Hmm.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not into canon
Maybe.
at all, but I don't know. If anyone knows, let us know in the comments or whatever. I'd love to find out who's the bigger clone than Wrecker or Stronger, because this episode kind of showed that basically he can take out his whole squad with brute strength.
Yeah. I mean, he can go toe to toe with an adolescent Rancor for a little while, so
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
He almost killed Omega though.
yeah.
Almost
Almost.
killed all of them.
Emphasis
It
on
just
the
goes to
almost.
show.
Okay. Anyway, take a look at the clone trooper helmet at the thing at the machine back behind them. Always love those small details in these episodes. As I've said earlier in the other live streams, I've noticed that Dave Filoni is very good with details, but he does know how to, take a shit on continuity from time to time. But still makes great content overall, if you ask me.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I meant when I said it has a lot of leg to stand on by what came before it. Because remember, in the first few seasons of the Clone Wars, the animation was so. It was still really rough, and the writing was kind of nah.
It was more simpler.
Yeah. Compare it to, say, seasons 5 and on, and it's a chasm of a difference. It's the Grand Canyon of a difference between content and quality and progression of character and plot.
I think at that
Even
point
season
for
4 as
lightsaber
well,
combat,
actually.
I think at that point for lightsaber combat, they started using some motion capture to a degree, didn't they?
They
Or was that
used
just
it.
with the Siege of Mandalore?
I think that first time they actually used it was the Siege of Mandalore. They used
With
like
Ray
little
Park.
bits. Yeah, the Ray Park. Before that, maybe a little bit, like once or twice.
Mhm.
And I actually have to say about season 4 as well. First 3 seasons of Clone Wars were like animation was like wooden dolls, and stories for like for younger audience. But with season 4, the show actually grew with the audience, and the animation and everything grew. So from season 4 to like season 7, it's a very different show than like from season 1.
Agreed.
Although I think I would rank season 3 more of a more mature level, maybe like a middle, because over there we have the Mortis arc, which is, I'd say, one of the best mythological arcs in the series entirely. We also have the Darth Maul, how would I say that, preview teaser with Savage Opress, which I'd say is well, he murders people. It's a bit more mature.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
that was when
season
the show
4 Maul
started to go
goes down.
PG-13.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
but-
by the way, season 3 has the Heroes on Both Sides episode, where it shows that it's not all black and white in war.
Yeah,
When
that
Ahsoka
was-
goes on the separatist world of Raxus.
Oh, you
I think
mean
that was
That's
when
very
Was
the-
that with Lux?
Lux
Yeah,
Bonteri?
Yeah, Lux
Easily,
Bonteri.
easily the most
Yeah.
underutilized, left out to dry character, because he was supposed to make an appearance in Rebels at one point. I remember.
That's such a missed opportunity.
It
Wow.
is, and it made me so upset because he could have been, because he was set to be this really idealistic and passionate political leader who was also, he was like a Bail Organa who was running around fighting. Like, he was supposed to be this really awesome war-born character that also had a very subtle romantic tie to one of our other beloved characters. We could have gotten so much good content out of the use of this fairly underutilized character.
I think we would have if it wasn't for Disney, honestly, because there would be more seasons of the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Like
we'd
imagine
actually
having
get a
6
full-
more episodes at least.
We'd get like a full, complete type of season in a way. Like we get to see everything.
Yeah, the full 22 episodes, which
Mm.
is honestly what I miss, even in the Bad Batch here. I don't know, every time they do something, they're always, in a way, lazy with the episodes, but back in the day, they hit you with 22 each season.
Yeah, a lot of TV shows used to be like 20, 24 back in the day, but now it's just like, oh, you get 12 or whatever.
Or
It's really
8.
10.
And then
I
you,
think
and then
they're
you
10
want
at the minimum.
more.
I feel like they're just doing it as an excuse to like cram some stuff. That's why, like, what happened to just having a long kind of overarching story, but then you just cram something together and you only get like 3 or 4 seasons at the most with 10
You know
episodes.
what else I've noticed? A lot of shows back in the day, like let's say 10 years ago, most shows had 22 episodes. That was kind of like a standard most of the time. And most of those episodes weren't fillers. But now when you look at it, like for example, I'm not a fan of the Mandalorian series by any means, yes, but out of 16 episodes full, you have about 4 that are in the main plot of the story. It's all fillers. Oh, Mando's walking, Mando's doing this. Just lazy. Back in the day, the whole season was a huge story. I hate filler episodes. That's why I think the Bad Batch started with a huge bang, and I think the episode before this one, no, actually the episode before this one was kind of okay, but the Fennec Shand one and the one after it with the Zygerians was probably the worst too, by my opinion, in this season.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a couple fillers, but just like, don't do it constantly. Like, don't do it every like say 3. Don't do it for like 3 episodes straight. Let's say.
Yeah, like the CW DC shows do it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, seriously, like
Yeah, something like that.
Like,
just
remember-
remember Arrow when it first got out. Season 1, amazing. Season 2,
Yeah.
fucking great. Season 3, the fuck did you do? Season 4, fuck this show.
Basically, that's
Season
what
5
happened.
actually redeemed the show. Then season
show
6
was this?
crashed it again. Arrow.
Arrow.
And then season 7 was and they still didn't watch season 8.
I honestly stopped with 5 regarding that,
I
and I
think I stopped
completely
at
dropped.
2.
That was actually a good season. Season 1, 2, and 5 are actually the best seasons because I didn't watch season 8. People say it's a good season, but I have no idea about that.
The only episodes I really cared about had Deathstroke and Misa Al Ghul.
So season
Uh,
2 and season 3, basically.
Yeah. I mean, for season 3, they took so much Batman. Like, Raish is there for Batman, not for Oliver.
You know what they did well, even this is quite off topic, but still, the Flash show. I really enjoyed the lore behind the Flash. Generally speaking, I always loved the comics regarding the Flash, and Eobard Thawne fascinated me. Reverse Flash or Zoom. I really loved the Flash show and all the lore with time travel and the multiverse, but they have so many fillers. It's very annoying.
It's
get
the
a
same
new
thing with him. They fucked up the show like after season 2.
I think
Yeah,
they
the Flash
screwed
is
up
like-
the DC shows. They screwed them up with too much identity politics, which I would simply drop completely.
Yep, there's enough
feel like-
filler. There's enough filler for
feel like-
every donut in the country, man. I mean,
I feel like
That's why I
DC
should
is
just
trying
read
to be too
comics.
gritty.
I mean,
think
DC is
DC
too gritty.
But
Marvel
like
is more
gritty,
like, let me just explain.
like
quickly.
gritty on the level where it's like colorless in a way or
Here's-
uncreative.
here's the thing with DC though. They're trying to do that, but they don't go all out and commit. Because they don't commit, they end up with garbage.
It
Where-
depends on which parts. In comic books, they go all the way.
Well,
In movies and TV shows, they stop midway.
well, that's
Animated shows, it depends on the show and the writer.
the movies and the shows is what I'm talking about, because by evidence we can see the success in shows like Doom Patrol and The Boys and Jupiter's Legacy, Invincible.
Actually-
You can commit fully to the grit, the violence, the language, the banging on TV. You can
You know,
do all of it and
Out of
still
all
have.
the,
Titans actually did that the best from live action.
I was gonna say, out of all the shows, I think Invincible has the most over the top gore out of all of them.
And it's
Like
great.
just straight up. I know it gives the meaning of the show to you. Mark Grayson is literally invincible, and figuratively speaking.
I think J.K.
You should watch.
Simmons auditioned for that show with the movie Whiplash.
But hey,
It's just-
it spawned the greatest meme that's happening now. Think, Mark, think.
Yeah,
And I even sent Luke. I sent you a couple of videos of like Jesse and Cody, or something like that. didn't I?
Yeah, I've seen that. I actually watched the show a few weeks back.
okay. Now this scene right here, I knew immediately who that character was.
Really,
You know how?
Aragon. It's
Well,
obviously
that's-
Aragon from the Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. You know how
That
I
was
knew.
my first thought.
You know how I knew immediately who this was? He didn't talk.
Yeah.
If he spoke, I knew. Yeah, we would all know exactly who that was.
Honestly, as soon as I saw this, immediately flashback of the Fellowship of the Ring, like immediately, and of course what you just said regarding that's the character that's going to have something here. Although, did you know it was going to be Rex?
I mean,
a
from
little
the
bit.
last episode, like, they
Yeah,
show
bro,
like
it was
a
only a
silhouette,
matter of time.
and they did say they were saving him for mid-season or season finale.
You know, I didn't think some of this stuff was going to come so soon. Like Wrecker's inhibitor chip activating and them all getting it removed, and Rex showing up. It felt too soon to some degree,
It did,
I-
bro.
don't you think?
I mean, it is mid-season, so
This
Is it
isn't the
mid-season?
mid-season.
Oh yeah,
about-
it's going to be 16 episodes.
Yeah, about a third of the way through. See, I'm okay with this being Rex. I think we could have got a lot more out of it if it was somebody like Wolf and he was looking for revenge or something, because we could have got a backstory with him, like he met up with Rex and Rex got his inhibitor chip out somehow, and he was really tight with Plo Koon, so he's like, they killed my boss, I'm out for blood. That would have been cool.
Well, that sounds really cool.
know
execute
what?
Order 65.
I really hope that this series doesn't underutilize Gregor and Wolf like Rebels did. Although I was overjoyed by finding out that Rex, Wolf, and Gregor were in Rebels, and that Wolf and Rex survived till the Battle of Endor. But I really hope that they give them more space here in this series and don't waste them. And honestly, Cody has to appear. Like, it will be
some
such a
way,
waste not
somehow.
to see. Yeah.
Mhm.
And when it
Do
comes
you know
to
what
Wolf,
would actually do? if I may, just 1 second. I would actually give Rex, Wolf, and Gregor their own show.
It's not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
That would
It
be
has a
much,
lot of potential.
definitely.
We need a show with some of our favorite clones and clone commandos and commanders in the style of Rogue One. Rogue One was a war movie, and it was shot like a war movie.
The only good Disney Star Wars movie, honestly.
Make me a show like that.
In
Honestly,
animated form or live
We
action.
can use Delta Squad because there are canon thanks to Filoni.
Honestly, I really just want to see more of the Rogue One cast again.
Oh,
It
we
would
will
be
with,
cool though.
I
We will
think we're
with
getting a
Andor.
show about
Yeah,
them.
to flesh them out and develop them a little bit more.
Because
Yeah.
I remember in Gareth Edwards' original cut of the movie before Kathleen changed it, Cassian and Jin were both supposed to survive. If I remember
How?
correctly.
I mean, that's one of the better changes because they're
That's
not
the thing.
shown in the episodes in New Hope, episode 4, or Empire,
even-
or Return of the Jedi.
Like honestly, I don't even remember how they were supposed to survive. I haven't seen the video on it in like 2 years now. I'll have to rewatch it.
I'm curious now too.
If you guys
Yeah,
remember,
'cause-
the trailer for Rogue One had different scenes in it that weren't in the movie at all.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
When they're running
Mhm.
over the beach, and
And the radar
A-
tower looked completely different as well, didn't it?
Yeah, and the ATTs are firing directly at him, and they're running towards the legs. That was completely different. And I think Jin had the Death Star plans in hand.
Yeah.
Yes, she
they were
did.
running with
They
it.
actually did some reshoots for that. Do you know what you people need to watch, actually?
What?
How it should have ended.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They do great
those
stuff.
things.
Mm.
Anyway, want to
Yeah.
get back to the Bad Batch and Clone Wars and stuff like that.
Do we have to?
Oh,
Honestly, if you ask me, yeah, because Clone Wars is life. If you, from my,
I
point of
thought
view.
Shrek was life.
No.
Shrek is our
is a
sacred text.
Stop it.
Every nerd knows that Shrek is the sacred text.
You don't know what you're doing.
Actually, Shrek ripped the sacred texts at the beginning of the movie. If you
Stop
remember,
We got to talk about Shrek more often. It's such a good series.
I think he wiped his ass with the.
Yeah, he did use
Yeah,
that
he
toilet
did.
paper.
God. No, really, like it's such a great movie franchise. I don't know why people can't make anything more like it.
You know what I keep asking myself? Why can't they keep entertainment like it used to be? I mean, I would say the Bad Batch is doing a really good job as a continuation of the Clone Wars. It has no PC bullshit, and it's simply Star Wars. How can other franchises not do that?
Yeah, I mean, look at the shot right here. You know shit is about to go down. Seeing a sketchy hooded figure and two
Drink.
Just
dumbasses
the
just sitting.
pestilence.
Yeah.
You know what this actually reminds me of?
What?
We all know how Filoni loves westerns and old Japanese movies, like that's its name, the Castle thingy. This actually reminds me so much like Old West. A guy enters
Really?
the bar, drinking his drinking, minding his own business, and some
Vodka.
asshole comes to him. And then, of course, what's he going to do? Going to shoot at him.
You know what? I've noticed that these two guys, what's his name, the Weak Way and the I forgot about
Thorian.
Thorin.
Thorin. Yeah. They're the same guys in the last 3 episodes in the bar. They're the regulars, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Omega.
God
was
damn,
doing
they
their
didn't have a
energy
life.
bow, they were like doing the bets.
They're just betting on how badly Omega can shoot a bow and arrow.
Yeah, for some reason, they remind me of these how would I call it, the bars here in Serbia. You have these regular drunks every time. No matter how many times they throw them out, they always come back. And that's what Sid does here with these two guys.
Yeah, that's great.
What the
Okay,
two
let's
guys
move on.
don't know here is that the stranger has a big iron on his hip.
Yippee-ki-yay, partner.
This
Get
was
those
ironic.
Spurs.
Also, Sid is raking in the dough, and she throws them like 5 cred chips.
Yeah, this reminds me of Spider-Man.
In what way?
Spider-Man 1, when he
Parker!
finishes the fight and then he comes over to the office to get paid, and he
Parker,
gives him like,
get in here.
Parker, you're gonna have to do
Name
this.
Jonah Jameson.
Parker, you're fired. Wait, I lied. Get back in here. You're hired again.
You're unfired.
Do you remember the old Spider-Man cartoon from 90s?
No, you could be like this. You're like, SpongeBob, you're fired. Then again, you're rehired. Because I have no one else to do it for me. And Squidward will just fuck it all up.
I
They
think
have
that
a couple
he's the best
episodes like
cast.
that.
Yeah.
I think that J.K. Simmons is probably the best cast Marvel character of all time.
Obviously.
He's probably one of the most enjoyable Marvel characters of all time.
And
He's
also
been in
also the Slavic guy with "Give me rent."
Oh, yeah.
Yo, by the way, when we're already on Marvel right now, what you think about Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Haven't seen it.
Woke shit.
Yeah, it was meh. It was very
Nah,
meh.
woke up yet. I'm gonna watch.
It started good,
WandaVision
but
first.
the ending... It started strong, but it went down.
This is
What
how...
are we talking about?
Well, this is how milk toast Falcon and the Winter Soldier was. Who's talking about it right now? Nobody.
No one.
Mm. It started so strong with the first episode. Actually, the first 2 episodes. But after that, it just lost potential.
You know,
Honestly-
immediately when the police scene came, when the police immediately saw the Falcon, I immediately knew that they were going to push the, you know what, that sort of bullshit.
Oh,
And that
Oh,
new Captain
that.
America was the guy who played the new Captain America before. What's his name? With not Bucky. Hawk something. He's Captain America in the
Hawkeye?
comic books. Hawkeye.
Was that
Not
Hawk-
Hawkeye. Is the guy with the wings. I always forget his name.
Falcon.
Falcon.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. He's actually Captain America in comic books. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know,
it's
honestly-
still- it's actually amazing stories. But the new Captain America, they put like that guy, like who was a soldier and all. He was so fucking annoying.
I would have been
Honestly,
all for
I had
Falcon.
nothing against him.
I mean, he was just too annoying to me
Honestly, I would have been all for Falcon becoming Captain America, but
from the start.
Series-
Like, from the start.
like the series just screwed him over, and it sucks
Uh-huh.
because Falcon was great, especially
An
in
amazing
the
character.
Winter Soldier. Especially in the
You know
Winter
what, guys?
Soldier with the famous line on your left.
no,
You know
he
that
was
what?
good in that. Yeah.
I think I'm approaching Marvel with the same principle as Star Wars. I'm done with Endgame, the same way I'm done with Return of the Jedi, in regards to canon.
Mm.
I still
And
didn't
the way
watch Endgame,
and the way I
so
prefer it to be the simply ending of the story, because when they, I mean, let's face it, Marvel Phase 4 is identity politics only most of the time.
I think with the exception of WandaVision-ish.
Here's the cool
Ish.
thing. Here's the cool thing about what I think the evolution of Marvel is going to be. It's going to be just like the comic books. In that you can pick and choose your favorite parts and leave everything else alone. Because do you know how many Marvel comics and series there are? It's
yes, there's too many, but not all of them are the best. Like Marvel has like 2 big names. That's Spider-Man, and before it was X-Men. Now it's just Wolverine, and from time to time Deadpool because of the humor. Those are like their biggest stories in the comics.
Pretty
They're not
much.
so good like with comics. Well, with movies, they're killing it with movies. Well, DC on the other side, their movies are bad last few years, but their comics are fucking amazing.
Well, also remember we have another 10 years slated for production, right?
I know.
So we have 10 years of content down the line on top of 20 something movies. And
Honestly, you know what sucks about them doing it in live action? Like the big thing is like all these actors and actresses, they're getting older and we're not going to see them forever. So it's like you could have made a giant finale if you did it animated, but it just feels like it came too soon in a way because they're all getting older and we're not going to be seeing the characters forever.
That is true, but
The thing is,
10
you won't
years
be seeing them
thing-
anymore at all. Like the main cast, they're basically done.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I've seen I've heard about the behind the scenes interviews and stuff about how they were done as well. Like, honestly, I say good for them for going off and doing new projects too.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's better to finish off with a bang. And honestly, Endgame was amazing, if you ask me. It had some problems with the time travel stuff, but I enjoyed it.
I wish they used the Infinity Stones more in Iron. I really wanted to see a Gauntlet versus Gauntlet showdown with Thanos and Iron Man.
Well, you need more Infinity Stones for it, though.
Yeah, how would you get more?
Do you know what's this? Actually, there is a way. Because every Marvel universe, there's like so many of them. 664,
Multiverse,
I
yeah.
think. The 664 is the main one in the continuity of comic books. And
Remember
every
how they
universe
explain
has
time
its own.
travel?
Wait. Every universe has its own stones, but they're not working. They not work in other dimensions.
Yeah, they only work in their own universe.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like in this, the way Hulk explained time travel is that you can take something from the past and it doesn't affect the future. It'll still be there, but for some reason it creates like a branch reality or something like that. So they could have had their own set of stones and used them against them, but it
Do you
would
know
have
what
just
that
created
reminds
some
me
weird
of?
reality. What?
That reminds me of Darkseid from DC.
Yeah.
Darkseid is the only one. He actually has his own dimension, and he's the dimension. In every DC, no, Apocalypse is the Marvel. Darkseid is like
I mean Apocalypse, where he's at.
no. It's like a little box dimension with all of his power stored, and he makes like little clones of himself, like 10% of his power.
Yeah, he has
He sends
avatars.
them, and he sends them to like all of the universe, and he has all of their memories and experiences, and he cannot leave that dimension because it will destroy everything.
Okay, this part of the episode I very much love because look at the face of that Pantoran shopkeep who's just annoyed that Wrecker and Omega has bought all of her candied popcorn.
Yeah, it's just a brother sister bonding exercise.
But
Definitely.
Hunter, it makes the kid happy. Oh, it makes the kid
definitely.
happy.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what's
another thing I
awesome?
love about Wrecker. I love his love for food.
He's the best big brother ever.
Definitely. This episode shows it the most. No, I think the hilarious part is he's the comic relief, especially because they got like 3 credits for their work because he does this stuff. It's on Sid's tab every time.
Yes, and Sid is pissed. She's like, "Can you explain why the fat one is going off with the little kid, blowing all of your credits and putting shit on my tab?"
I like even more how Tech and Hunter are like, what tab? What are you talking about? Like they don't know that Wrecker and Omega are buying all these foods.
Yeah. That was great.
I mean, like they're like kids, so
And he's like, just put it on the tab.
And I like
nothing
that.
new.
I like that their mercenary boss, their faux Cal Scarata stand-in, is this short, stubby Trandoshan woman who, you know what? I don't want to know her backstory. I don't want to know Sid's history. I like those characters that can remain a bit of a mystery, and you can only speculate, where they
Just
came
like
from.
Yoda.
Yeah.
You know what I really like here about Rex, for example, is he reminds me of the deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith when the clones are going to the Jedi Temple and
Oh
dress up
yeah,
as Jedi.
Yeah.
definitely.
That was great.
Release
And I
4-hour
remember
cut.
those appeared in Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, they were in the
Saga.
mission on the Jedi
Yeah, I
Temple.
believe they did.
We need a 4-hour cut of the Revenge of the Sith.
We need an 8-hour cut.
Wait,
As far as I've
8?
heard, they have 8 hours
God
of
damn.
footage. Imagine that. That would be. And on
I would pay for that. I would
I
actually
would
pay for
really
that.
like that.
the Siege of Mandalore was somewhat I had the feeling of watching Revenge of the Sith for the first time there, and I loved it.
Mm.
Imagine 8 hours of that.
An 8-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith, and 2 of those hours are just the storming of the Jedi Temple and
Yes.
seeing Anakin and the clones slaughter everybody.
Yeah, that actually never happened, even in the original scripts. Lucas never went that dark, sadly.
That's okay. We can take it there.
We can
Yeah,
make it. Well, I
We
mean,
should
they
have a
did.
game.
They
We should
redid
have a
the
game based there.
FC in 38, right? For No Hope. With Vader and Kenobi fighting.
Oh yeah, the
Few
fan.
fans, yeah. They actually came and redone the entire scene, and it looks amazing. Why can't we get
Yeah.
something like that for Jedi Temple? Like 10 minutes. Actually, 5. Fuck 10. Give us 5 minutes of Vader, young Vader, Prime Vader.
And we can
just
actually
learning.
see, like, Anakin taking on Shakti and all that.
They actually killed her from her back.
You know what record going postal this episode reminded me of?
What?
There's a Joe Rogan bit from one of his specials where he's talking about Brock Lesnar and being next to Brock Lesnar, like back in the day, and he was like, "There's a part of my brain going, please don't fuck me, please." Because there's nothing you could do to stop him. He's just so big.
No, you just look at him, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
That's exactly how I felt when I saw Wrecker like flip the switch in his head. I was like, oh no.
Why do I hear boss music?
You know,
Exactly.
it's gonna go full. I think I could imagine someone doing a reanimated version, but they do it Looney Tunes style, where it's like a Bugs Bunny versus Yosemite Sam type thing. They're just like, uh-oh. Or Hunter and Omega are just like, uh-oh. And then Wrecker starts shooting at him.
You can just see Wrecker's health bar appear out of nowhere.
and
Yeah.
Republic Commando music starts. The true boss music.
And then you just need the sound fight. Round 1. Fight.
No, it just goes full Mortal Kombat on them.
Have you guys seen the meme regarding the Soviet chess player in Russia against some kid when the music from Dark Souls starts and the
No.
health bar simply appears? It's
I don't think I've seen that
no.
one.
that is so. Todd, just find it and put it in the chat or whatever, or even put it in the chat for everyone to see that the link.
You
for
can
that.
put it in the server. Why not just put it in the server? I mean, would it make more sense to put it in the server?
True. Do that as well. Why not?
What noise?
There's someone actually have something in the background. I don't know who, but
Oh, that could
not
be
me.
the television. My grandma she needs it loud to hear.
no problem.
Understandable.
No problem.
Yeah, I have one too. Grandma, I mean.
Yeah, if you hear,
I was about to say, I have a TV too. What are you talking
Just-
about?
I mean, me
Just so you
too,
know. Guys, just so you know, if you hear a loud, deep voice on my end, then my dad wants something, so I may have to cut out for a little bit.
Is that your stepdad?
No, my actual dad. I don't have a stepdad, you idiot. Why?
I was about to be really scared. Like we just hear this really deep, gravelly voice. You are in direct violation of Order 66.
I think we're all in violation of Order 66 in some way. I think we've all violated it.
Well, it depends on what you mean by Order 66.
We were supposed to execute the Jedi and take the Holy Land.
Deus Vult.
Dios Volt, brother.
I don't know why, but that reminded me of the controversy surrounding Boba Fett, quote unquote, not being a Mandalorian, but he is, but he's not. And
It depends. From time to time, he's a Mandalorian. Then he's not. And now he's back.
yeah, so
It's like-
I don't know if you guys have seen Team 4 Stars Helsing Ultimate or Helsing Abridged,
Oh,
Very-
that's amazing. That is amazing.
but the connection I just made was Bo-Katan and that other Night Owl chick being like, "You're not really a Mandalorian." Like, how are you, Mandalorian? And you hear Alucard from Team 4-Star going, fuck you, that's how.
That's actually an
Nice.
amazing abridge.
It could
You know,
work.
if you ask me,
Yo,
I
sci-fi.
wouldn't even pay attention to what they said in The Mandalorian regarding that at all. As far as I'm concerned, you know, the Open Seasons, is that the name of the
Yeah,
comic?
open
Open
seasons.
seasons, yes.
That
As
was
far as
great.
I'm concerned, I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm always EU plus canon, but I'm very picky regarding canon because it's mostly shit.
Oh, it's same for me. It's just like I go through and find the good stuff and read it and just ignore all this bad
Yeah,
stuff.
I always try to mix it, and so far I'm happy with Rebels, Bad Batch, Jedi Fallen Order, Rogue One, and Clone Wars.
We're
Regarding
just
I
very
think trying to fit all that
selective
stuff in
regarding
Legends
things.
too, in my head canon.
I think we also incorporate fan stuff as well too. Like you
Yeah,
guys
I do
did a
as
fan
well.
video on that one clone.
I actually asked the guys that made the Kenobi fan film.
Vaguely.
I actually asked them if I could use some footage from their thing, if they could send it to me, so that I can incorporate it into my Obi-Wan Kenobi story, which I'm updating with Todd. You know, with James Arnold Taylor that we did it. I want to incorporate the fan film into the wholesome EU plus canon Kenobi story.
Hmm.
Although I'm picky regarding canon with the comics and the books because it's mostly crap.
Are you guys gonna get Elseworld to do another video or no?
In what way? What do you mean?
Like
Collab?
like with one of like a collab, because there was one character that I loved from his thing, which was it was a Miraluka Jedi from the Old Republic that he did a video on called Immoral Heliolite, or the Ghost of Ilum, as the creator of the guy calls it.
So, what do you mean regarding it? Like, if you
Like
did
what
it
I mean
already?
is, will you do another video on one of the characters that he already did? Is what I'm saying.
You mean me?
Yeah, or Todd, one of the two.
I mean, we always work together, so we'll
Yeah.
see. Who knows?
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, I want to cover every single Star Wars character when it comes to the EU.
Like, honestly, Elseworld's got some really good stuff going.
True.
So,
Okay.
where were we? Ass kicking time.
Yeah, we want to move on to the. We only covered a little bit of the episode, as you can see.
Unfortunately.
It's about
I'm
20.
going to fall asleep. God damn, we have to move.
All right.
Yeah, it's
I'm pretty
too-
sure we talked about everything except the episode.
Yes.
Almost everything.
That always happens because it's very enjoyable. I could just talk about random crap all the time.
We-
because it's
We
fun.
need a
We
stream
haven't
just for talking, like let the episode just for talking.
Why
Let's
don't
do
we
that.
just do that
next week.
sometime?
We should
Let's
do
do
it.
it tomorrow.
Sorry,
Same
I'm not
time.
available tomorrow. I have a girlfriend and a life. Apart from this,
We all have lives.
We
Yeah, I
all
gotta-
have lives.
Yeah, I got a fight going on.
how does one kill which has no life? Make love, not Warcraft.
Yes.
So, what did you guys think of the scene of Wrecker apologizing to Omega?
It was hard. It's hard because, I mean, you are made to think about so many things, like Omega telling Crosshair, "Hey, it's not your fault, but please don't do that." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Get out of here. You're upset." Of course I'm upset. A brilliant, astute observation, child. And he just doesn't think anything of it. But of course, she's referencing what he's about to do. You have to remember she was Nalase's lab assistant, quote unquote, right?
Yes.
So she knows about the inhibitor chips and what they do, and she knows how it wasn't Wrecker's fault, but he still feels, super guilty. It's a well-intentioned dude being forced into an incredibly bad situation, and it's almost like as if you were to get like into a car accident where nothing was completely your fault, but everything bad happened because you were there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you mentioned that in regards to Wrecker and being hard, Order 66 generally, I mean, we already talked about it, that it's one of the most interesting parts in Star Wars. You can do multiple variations of it from other clones, other perspectives, and every time it's very interesting. But what I've noticed is it's tragic from every possible side when you look at it. In Revenge of the Sith, we looked at it from the Jedi side. Still tragic, very sad scene with all the music and everything. And over here as well, even in the Clone Wars, even in Jedi Fallen Order, everywhere we see it in not live action, I mean, as a not a book and not a comic book. Everywhere we see it, it's heartbreaking when you look at it, especially because Wrecker is he has really good intentions, and I don't know, he's a simple man when you look at it. He's very simple, and he apologizes to Omega in his own way. Like, it's not really, he doesn't use some fancy words. He just says he's sorry, and you feel it because of the way he is.
And then they immediately go back to eating space candied popcorn.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, that's how you bond.
Yeah.
Me and Todd, as best friends for 17, 18 years, we bond over McDonald's.
Who doesn't do that?
Make peace with food.
Just get a 20-piece McNugget and just call it a day.
Well, every time I go to his place, every time we go to Macca's, because the triple cheeseburger is calls to you.
You better make that 2 20 pieces. One for you, one for me. Thank you.
Actually, we used to buy about 15 cheeseburgers back in the day.
Yeah.
And believe me, it's like shit and bricks after it.
Just don't get the ice cream because the machine's always broken.
Nah, not interested. I just like the burgers.
I know.
Is Todd even alive, mate?
Yes, I am.
Todd, wake up.
I could
All
only
awake,
eat 2
all
at a
right.
time.
Art.
Anyway, let's move on with this. Went to cheeseburgers, now I'm hungry in 2 a.m. Damn it.
Just don't think about it.
I like
Why do we do
Sid's.
this?
I like Sid's beratement. How it's specialized for each of the Bad Batch, like how she calls Tech goggles.
Yeah, typical
That was
one-liner type.
And how whenever Wrecker talks around her at all, oh look, it talks.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, by the way, there is an antenna on that Phase 2 one, as we talked about it
Mm.
before.
Interesting.
I just have to
Yeah,
say
I'm pretty
it.
sure we covered that. Like,
We did, but I just have to say it.
we covered that extensively. Don't worry.
Okay, now we come to the interesting part. This looks awesome.
And now you
Face
know who
reveal.
the
I
I
want
know
to.
who the guy was who was talking to the Martez sisters.
I want a couch with that backing. Look at it; it's weird.
I think it's very similar to the Falcons.
Yeah, it's weird, but it
Mm-hmm.
looks cozy.
Yeah.
Like, would your back be comfortable pressed against that?
I
Well,
mean,
It needs
if
a
it had
better angle.
cushions,
I
yes.
think.
Yeah.
It needs a much better angle because it's 90 degrees, as it seems. So
What it needs is a comfy chair.
you know what? You guys mentioned Wolf.
Yeah.
When it comes to Wolf, imagine if we get to see Wolf, and I've been thinking about this, fantasizing. Imagine if we see Wolf or Gregor or whatever, and you get. I mean, it's not in the style of Star Wars to get flashbacks while they talk. We never saw that, I think, in the Clone Wars, right? I mean, I watched it 50 times, but
No.
so it's probably not going to happen. He's probably simply going to say what happened vaguely, just as Rex didn't go into details in this episode in regards to how he got rid of the inhibitor chip and, the Ahsoka thing. He didn't even mention her, And just imagine if Wolf does that, you get a flashback of some sorts of what he did during Order 66 or something. I don't know. It's always entertaining seeing something like that, at least by my opinion. Would just like to have more details. And I remember they said that Wolf did participate in Order 66, but somehow later he got out of he got his chip out. Maybe thanks to Rex. Who knows? Maybe it didn't happen yet. Maybe it's supposed to happen. I'm guessing. I guess this episode takes place maybe a few months after Revenge of the Sith now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably at this point.
You guys have anything to add? Todd, you alive?
Yeah, I'm alive, and I don't have anything to add. Just go for it.
He's more asleep over there than Art is.
Art's been drinking vodka.
Art's laying down right now.
I actually am laying down. Nice guess. And I've been drinking beer, but I'm actually tired as hell. So
Comfortable?
Excuse me.
Yeah, beer will do that to you. But
Just
that's
get comfortable or something. Like,
I'm listening to you.
I was gonna
Then
say,
you
let's
need
just
to call
finish,
me.
let's just finish the live stream lying down. It's
You know who
That's
you know who would have been cool to see here instead of Rex?
Who?
One of the Kuivil Dar.
Oh, the guys who trained the Clone Commandos.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because who are the Bad Batch?
that would be neat.
They're these badass clone special forces guys.
They're actually commandos as well.
They're commandos. Yeah.
They
Pretty much.
wear Kataran class commando armor, so it's obvious.
So Kuivil Dar would make total sense. We could have seen Rav Braylor or Waylon Vow or Cal Scarata.
You know what?
Dread Priest.
Today I started writing the script for a Delta Squad story, EU plus canon, of course. And I was thinking about adding, just briefly mentioning the Bad Batch simply existing when they were training to become commandos. Is that stupid? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I
Why
don't think
not?
so.
It's not really stupid.
Because I like putting it all together when I do these stories, because EU plus canon. And overall, when you look at it, George Lucas came up with the Clone Commandos. I mean, he was, how would I say it? Well, they had to ask him regarding the Clone Commando game, Republic Commandos back in the day. So he simply gave his ideas. And I remember that they talked that George Lucas, in regards to the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars was generally George's, and he had to be asked about everything. He wanted them to be, I just forgot the word on English, at least, the stereotypical, soldiers. Like, you have Rambo here, you have the tech guy, you have the Shrek guy, and the sniper, of course, the silent.
Mm-hmm. The quiet guy.
Yeah, so he was technically behind it all. So I don't know why I said all this.
Because
I just
it
realized,
actually-
what was the point? What was my point? I forgot about
I'm
it.
not really sure.
Can you hear me correctly?
Yep.
The best thing is actually Filoni canonized Delta Squad in Clone Wars, thanks to like 15 seconds in season. I think it was 3 or 4.
Well, the thing is, he didn't actually canonize Delta Squad, because at the time it was all, the Clone Wars was technically considered the expanded universe next to the movies, and there was no Disney, so it was basically all canon. So it doesn't really matter overall.
Yeah, but we actually got them like over here, and we can actually hope for their story to be told in a show or a book or something.
True, but in regards to canon, I would prefer them to not touch pre-existing characters, because
And they actually did release. They actually released again the Commander game like 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, I know, but still, they didn't add anything to it or remove.
That's actually amazing.
You know what else they did, guys? Dirge, the character from the 2003 Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They brought him back in some Dr. Aphra shitty comics. And that's
Dirge.
based in the Galactic Civil War era, and immediately screwed up the character overall.
Oh,
Just
did they make him like human or something?
No, I think they
he
brought back
looks,
Dirge.
he looks exactly the same. Has a very small role in a single comic, as far as I've heard, and immediately deemed non-canon for me. Fuck that.
That's so disappointing because
I'm gonna look that up.
Dirge is such a terrifying character.
Anakin
Yeah.
actually had to kill him with the sun.
He's been alive for 1,000 years. He's gone insane.
For 5,000, if I remember correctly.
5,000 years. Even
Was it 5,000?
Yeah, it
Something
was
like that.
5,000. He was in stasis for
It was
like
something like that.
1,000 years.
And then Anakin flew him into a sun to kill him. But like that's the only thing that can
That
kill
was
him.
an amazing story.
That's still
That
really
was
cool.
funny.
That's a really
That
cool
was
death.
funny
though.
because I thought Obi-Wan was going to be the one to kill him, but it ended up being Anakin in the end.
You guys remember how Disney used to take a shit on the EU constantly, saying that we're going to do it better, we're going to have a better continuity, blah, blah, blah. And then they constantly take these characters and do nothing with them. Take a shit on them.
Kathleen Kennedy came straight out the gate and said, well, it's really hard writing these stories because we don't have anything to go off of. And there's hundreds of books. There's hundreds of books and thousands of comics books. Screw you, lady.
That was a huge. I think a lot of people should have realized back then the huge red flag that was going to happen. I remember me and Todd were talking about it in 2013. Like, as far as Disney, like, don't touch it. Just don't. That would be like,
even from day one in late 2012, I was afraid. And sadly, some of those fears have come true.
Actually, if you ask me, all of them came true, and they were much worse than I could have imagined.
And they don't stop
I
coming.
expected them to take a shit on the lore and simply make up some garbage, but I never imagined 10 years ago that politics would be such a huge problem in entertainment overall.
Yeah, but hey,
It's so much worse than I could have imagined in regards to that, especially in this year now.
Yeah.
Beyond
but hey,
belief.
there's one little YouTube series that I think can make everybody have a good laugh.
They're calling apart.
Yes. Also, you guys ever heard of Cyanide and Happiness?
Oh, yeah.
Just watch some of that.
So.
Just watch some of that. It'll make you feel better, despite the fact that it's extreme dark humor.
They're hilarious.
Yeah, who doesn't love them?
Well, we need some dark humor because when you look at it in this day and age, humor is considered an ist, an ism, and a phobe. So we need some comedy.
Like I said, watch Cyanide and Happiness. They can get away with anything.
Yeah, Cyanide and Happiness kind of grandfathered in because they were left over from the days of like Newgrounds and Albino Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty's really good too.
I'm a full season behind.
I'm still waiting for the new season. I didn't
Cobra Kai, my boys.
Oh, can't wait for season
I've heard
4.
great things about that.
Cobra Kai
They
is
shit
awesome.
on woke culture a lot too.
That's what I love about. Actually, I generally love the story, but I love Johnny Lawrence's just point of view on all this modern bullshit. I just
He's
love
so
it.
out
because I
of
feel the
touch
same
with the
way.
modern day. It's great.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I'm not out of touch. I wish I was most of the time because it's idiotic beyond belief. But I just love how out of touch he is and how much he shits on it like it's something, like it's idiocy at its finest. Every
I think
time.
one of my favorite Johnny moments in the series was when he spray painted a dick on freaking Danny's billboard. Or was it spray paint? And then he was like, "Mother." It's great.
I also love the part when he's like, "Kick that pantsy bitch's ass." When he's like, "Equality," you know.
Oh, the best
That
thing
was
is
great.
actually internet. In my day, there was no fucking keyboard. You would go up to him, punch him in the face, tell him to
Honestly,
fuck off, and walk away.
I hope Johnny's son gets redeemed. I hope Robbie gets redeemed.
I think, I actually wouldn't like that for him. He had his chance. You know, like he had too many chances.
Nah, it's definitely gonna happen.
Creed, yes. I want to see what will Creed do.
You know,
He's
the
an
series
amazing
has some morals. It's not like Game of Thrones and all that crap. It's gonna happen. Redemption has to happen. What's the point otherwise?
Game of Thrones just has too much incest.
Yeah,
Strike
I wrote.
first, strike hard, no mercy.
Have you? This is off topic as well. But
Yes.
have you guys heard about the Amazon series for the Lord of the Rings? It's gonna be bloody horrible.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be the most expensive woke shit ever made.
How
500
woke are we
million.
talking about? How woke are we
To
talking
the point
about?
that you're putting Game of Thrones stuff into Lord of the Rings in like nudity.
Oh my
And of
god.
course,
I don't
Why do we
even know
need
what
this?
that
Ah,
is.
the guy. Wait.
I don't know what
Did you
that's going to
people
look like,
watch-
but it's probably going to be ugly.
and
you
they're
make
going to have
me,
diversity.
Makes me worried about the Wheel of Time series and what they're going to do with Stargate.
I hope they leave Stargate alone.
Did you people watch Bandax? Eagle
No.
Warrior just talked about. Ah, it's an amazing cartoon. Watch it. It's amazing. It has like 4 seasons. Just it was canceled back in like 2012 or 10, something like that.
You know, I know they'll never do this, but I really wish they would reference like what kind of drinks they have. Because in the books they talk like in the Darth Bane books, they reference like Kashyyyk ale, like in all this different kind of brandy and brews that they have. I know Disney will never do this for a quote unquote kids show, much less a cartoon, but I really want to know what they're drinking.
The thing is, they did sort of something in The Mandalorian, but I would just ignore that. The
Yeah,
spatchka
spatchka.
thing, whatever. Yeah. Honestly, the name, for some reason, reminds me of vomit, in my language at least.
Oh yeah.
Or when you take a huge dump. I don't know. You took a huge spatchka. It's probably funny in my head only.
It looks like blue Gatorade.
But, I mean,
I
we
think it
always
is
have
Blue
the
Gatorade.
Actually, you know what would be a good reference? If I remember, when we did a video on Wooher, the bartender at Mos Eisley Cantina, Charman's Cantina, he had a lot of drinks there. He was like a pro at making them. Expanded Universe, of course. And he brewed the head of Greedo into something to give to Jabba, and that was like his dream or something.
Yeah, he
And
wanted
that's
to make the
disgusting.
ultimate drink for Jabba.
Yeah, the
That's
perfect one that would elevate him. And he actually, I mean, it never happened with Jabba, but he did make the drink, and it was like underneath the cantina. And I remember when we did the video, they actually named a lot of drinks that he made there. Like he was a pro at it.
Wow.
And I mean, they could always drink hot chocolate like Luke Skywalker did in the post-EU stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was
wasn't that
weird.
like in the Thrawn trilogy?
Isn't there a
The
Star Wars
Thrawn.
cookbook, actually?
I think it's the
There
Star
are
Wars
several.
Unity, right?
There's
Ah.
there are several Star Wars cookbooks. I have 3 of them.
Oh, interesting.
I remember in Star Wars Insider there's a recipe to make some like Yoda stew or whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Did he say just? Did he just say jawbreaker?
No.
I like how the batch doesn't think, hey, you know, if we're spotted by Imperial forces, they might recognize our armor. Maybe we should have disguises or something.
Like Rex.
Rex at least is wearing a cloak.
Honestly, he looks very thick with
I
the
mean,
cloak.
I mean, he does have a bit of a pudge in Rebels.
He actually reminds me of Plo Koon in season 6.
Oh,
Hmm.
when yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
same
But they
kind of cloak.
find Sifo Dyas is the lightsaber.
Yeah, that's very
I-
cool for Plo Koon there.
I did like the moment that Omega had with Rex, and look at the animation on Rex's face and forehead. They gave him those little extra lines to show his age a little bit more than the others. And
Yeah.
Omega just kind of looks at him for a second and goes, "You're a Generation 1."
Like
I
an
was
asshole.
I was kind of confused when she said that. Honestly, I was like, what did she see specifically?
I
But,
think
you know-
it's one of those moments where they lay at our feet to kind of say, all right, figure it out. Is she force sensitive, or is it because she was hanging around Nala Se, or is she just hyper intuitive? Figure it out. Ooh.
I immediately thought that she knew she probably. I mean, this is just me. I thought that she was looking at his eyes, and she's like, "Yeah, you're a Generation 1." And I'm like, "How would she know it?" But at the end of the day, she works in a laboratory or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what she did for a living for the last 10 years, I think.
well, that's actually the question. Like, is she maybe 2 years old or 3? Technically 6, if you know what I mean. Double the aging.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't know that. Or maybe she's the same age as all of them.
My theory is she's aging naturally. There's no growth
I agree with
acceleration.
that too.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
probably.
weird, actually, because
Just like Boba.
she's the same age as Wrecker.
No, she just acts the same age as Wrecker.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is, they're actually the same age. Then maybe,
Yeah.
but they're just more mature because they simply do it faster. Also, I think this is the first time that we ever heard that they ever talk about the first generation of clones, like ever mentioned in the Clone Wars, which is nice. And they also say the same thing about the Venator class Star Destroyer. That's the first time they call it a Venator.
Oh yeah, they're like, yeah, first off the line.
Same
Yeah,
as you,
first-
Rex.
What'd you say?
And then somebody responded to Rex, same as you, Rex. First off the line.
You guys
I
know
thought you all
this.
hated Rex. Rex is different.
Have you guys noticed that Wrecker has this relationship with anyone they know, like he's someone's uncle? Like
Yeah.
with the Cutler Quain kids, his uncle Wrecker. He hugs everyone. It's just interesting.
Yeah, he runs up to Rex and gives him a big hug. Remember their interaction in the last Clone War season where he tries to pick a fight with Rex because
Yeah, by the
Rex,
neck.
yeah,
He's like a crazy uncle to try to avoid.
I was gonna say, imagine if Crosshair was still with them and they saw Rex.
he'd probably just sigh and chew on a toothpick.
Yeah. I don't
Especially since Rex kicked his ass last season.
Rex did?
Yeah. Yeah.
With what?
Remember that? He beat the hell out of Crosshair in the Clone Wars.
And then
I don't remember
Wrecker
them
got him.
actually. I remember them pushing each other, but not really fighting.
That's what I meant.
And
Kicks was actually going into Crosshair's face there. Anyway, what did you guys think about this part specifically when he hears that they didn't take the inhibitor chips off? This was a very interesting reaction from Rex. Like, he was dead serious on pulling a blast on
I
them.
actually thought he was
I-
going to shoot them. Like, I actually thought he was going to shoot them right then and there.
It was just amazing to see him, the guy who actually survived Order 66, almost killed Ahsoka, and then had to kill his own brothers to survive. He comes here to see, like, can he recruit help for rebellion, let's call it rebellion, and then he finds out they didn't remove their chips. And he knows what they actually represent. They're actually lucky he didn't shoot him.
I think between the last season of Clone Wars and Bad Batch, they've actually added a subtle retcon, which I don't think anyone has realized. Order 66 was kill the Jedi, right? Now it's become all right, kill the Jedi, but also execute any clone who didn't comply with Order 66.
I mean, that was true in Legends, though, wasn't it?
it was, yes. I'm pretty
Was
sure.
it?
Yeah, because some ARC troopers disobeyed it, and then they were hunted down just like the Jedi.
Yeah, but
They were actually hunted down by Vader.
Yeah, they bowed up to Vader because they're like, "Nah, we're not gonna." In the EU, in that specific book, it was a little bit different because it was the same with like the regs and their captain following orders just because they were following orders, but they made it very clear in the book that that commander was just following orders and was just as equally confused. But since Vader was there, he didn't want to like step out of line or anything. But these commandos that were working with, who was it, Roan Shrine?
I don't think it was him. It was someone else probably. But
No, it was Roan Shrine.
was he?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the guy who killed Apple on Kashyyyk.
Yeah, it was Roan Shrine.
Yeah, so
Yeah. They hunted down the clone commandos that were assisting the Jedi.
now those commandos weren't anything like the Batch. They were just like null arcs or something like that. They were maybe not even null arcs. They might have been Generation 2 or something, but they were just regular clone commandos.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, hey, this don't seem right. Like this could have been a separatist hack or some mistake of orders or whatever. That's one of the more interesting changes in how Order 66 was carried out to me, whereas before it was just fear and cloak and dagger, and we have an empire now instead of a republic, so the military is going to be a lot more strict and stringent, as opposed to the continuity now where it's like literal mind control. And I don't know which I like better.
I don't know. I think the inhibitor chip gives much more depth to it because I always had a hard time before watching the Clone Wars, before seeing the season 6 episodes with Tup. I couldn't just believe that the clones all of a sudden carried out the order, especially after watching the Clone Wars, the first 5 seasons. They fought together, they're friends. They're not just allies; they're really friends. They know, especially the relationship Rex had with Ahsoka and Anakin. I simply, when watching that, couldn't imagine it just be him following. Sorry, I couldn't just imagine him following the order blindly, because it's not in his character overall. And I think the inhibitor chip really did a good job with generally the whole plot of Order 66 and everything that Sidious did. It's a much smarter thing than just to rely on the conditioning of clones. And it's something that a Darth Sidious would do, and not just rely on the Kaminoan conditioning, which might or might not work. Because I'd imagine then that if the clones respected the Jedi, and if they considered each other as allies, I'd expect that most of them wouldn't go through it with Order 66. Although
I always saw it as like a fail-safe in case the conditioning didn't work. In my head,
It could have been.
And regarding those the clones in the EU that didn't go through with the order, I simply like to think of it as maybe some of them didn't have a chip, or maybe it simply didn't affect them like it didn't affect the Bad Batch.
Well,
Who knows?
Well,
Why not?
the clones in the old EU, remember, they were mixed with all of these new clones that Papa Palps had grown on that moon of Coruscant, and they weren't the clones that had that same feeling of camaraderie and brotherhood as all of the clones that we know and love, right? That were shown in the old EU books that did have that sense of camaraderie and community and friendship, even with the Jedi, and like the local forces as well. So I think I like the old EU explanation a bit better, because to me it's way darker and more twisted, because even the clones, even the clones that we go through with the old EU novelizations and in comics and everything, even they were fooled. Even they were tricked and bamboozled, because they didn't know that these brothers that looked just like them were only there to not only implement this Order 66, but to make sure that they complied too. Because if you're exactly right, if a platoon of just regular ass clones that have been friends with insert a Jedi here, right, like Plo Koon, if Order 66 came down and all of his platoon friends were like, no, we're not going to do that, then Palpatine would have had a huge problem, because he would have had Jedi all over the galaxy with all these fleets and armies going, all right, well, we're just going to go back to Coruscant and see what's up, like with all of these clone battalions. That's why it makes so much sense to me, and it's a lot more duplicitous in Cloak and Dagger that someone just like you is standing next to you and is ready to knife you in the throat if you don't comply with the new Emperor's order.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting thing when you look at it, especially in the broad scheme of things.
Yeah. For some reason, I never even thought of what we're talking about here, but I agree. It's quite, I never even thought of them. Like, I mean, I did, but not to this level in regards to they're actually good friends. They have fought alongside each other for years, saved each other's asses countless times, and then suddenly, because a unknown someone said a order, they would just, what you said, it would make a problem with Order 66, like a huge one with Palpatine.
Yeah.
No matter how much conditioning there is. I mean, they showed that the clone, unless the Clone Wars showed they didn't do the clones the way they did.
Yeah, because Rex makes this huge. Well, I don't know if it was Rex. No, it was during the Umbara arc where one of the clones, it was probably Rex or Fives or Jesse or somebody, was like, "We're not droids, right? We can think."
And we have Fives.
Oh, it's Fives. Yeah,
when they were about to be executed.
Yeah, we are not droids. We have autonomy. We can think. We're brothers. And then all of that is taken away from them with these chips. So I guess it's a really, really good substitute. It's like neck and neck close to how I want it to be in terms of how dark and twisted and evil it is, as arguably one of the main plot devices for the turning of the tide between the Clone Wars era and the Dark Times era.
Yeah. In regards to what's happening here on screen with Rex, I think that this scene managed to make the chip even more insidious due to the way how he acts when he found out that they don't have it, that they didn't remove it yet. Like, he's literally saying it's the most dangerous thing. You can't even imagine how dangerous it is. Imagine what that did to his psyche when he was fighting it, to not shoot Ahsoka, because most clones couldn't even fight it that much. Like, for example, Depa Biloba's battalion. I did one of the rare things I do enjoy from canon are some comics like Kanan, The Last Padawan.
Oh, that was good. Yes,
I really enjoyed that one, and you can see how much they cared for each other. I mean, even Kanan Jarrus says it himself that they fought alongside each other, and how much the clones looked up to her. You can see that they didn't think for a second and simply started to shoot when Order 66 came. So I think what Rex did was a huge deal in order to, fight it for the 10 seconds that he was able to. Find fives. And this scene simply shows what it did to him and how helpless he was to control himself. It's probably like a demon taking over your body, and you're simply a passenger. That's what I would compare it to.
That's a really good comparison, though.
And when you look at it, George Lucas always did say in a way that Sidious is the devil, Satan, or whatever. and it makes sense in a way. Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah,
It does.
No, it does. Especially if you follow through with the Dark Empire comics and how Palpatine's spirit is able to escape the Netherworld.
Oh yeah.
Like he rips
Chaos.
through like a whole bunch of Jedi spirits. It's crazy.
Mhm.
See, this is what I mean with this episode. There's not too much to talk about until shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which
except for
is
details.
about right here.
But it's overall fun, which is more than enough for me, and by my opinion, the second best episode so far, right next to the.
For sure.
I like in this show to Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's no bad episode, but there are
Yeah.
episodes that are less serviceable than others.
Exactly.
That's
It's
a
like
good
with book
comparison.
one. It's like with book one in Avatar. Like that was the season where the show was basically finding its identity. So that's where I think most of the bad episodes of that came. Here, I think the show's trying to find its identity as well. And if they get more seasons, then it's probably going to find it.
Yeah.
You know what's cool? There are multiple junk worlds in Star Wars. You have the,
Yeah, like there's a Raxus Prime.
yeah,
Like Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Although this one is purely, well, do you guys think that these Venators are all retired like immediately after the Empire came in? I know that they used it for at least until 18 BBY. For at least 1 year, the Venators were used, as far as I know. But they were not red. They were completely painted into gray, the Empire color, whatever.
Yeah.
But do you guys think that these Venators are simply all direct ones from throughout the Clone Wars, or that they're already retiring them fully?
I
They're
think it's a
probably the
bit of
wrecked
both.
ones because if they just they need ships to secure the Empire. They wouldn't just like get rid of all of them at once.
Well, we're also getting the Victory ones. How soon after Revenge of the Sith?
1 year at least. That's what I know. In regards to EU.
Hmm.
In New Plimto, for example, the Dark Times comics already shows it to you.
Mm-hmm.
When the Empire is invading, it's in a Star Destroyer, the regular one. Also, there's a very cool thing here. I've noticed an Easter egg that really makes me happy in this episode. Just gonna skip towards it. In regards to just, oh yeah, look at the right. What do you guys see?
It's a good old hammerhead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't notice that
Really?
the first time.
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
noticed that straight off the bat as I was watching it for the first time.
That's cool.
I mean,
That is
whoever
pretty
plays
cool.
the Kotor, you should know about them. So,
You know what's cool regarding it? I mean, I was overjoyed when I saw it in Rogue One and in Rebels, and the way I like to think of it, it's a Hammerhead Corvette in canon. Let's just I'll play into the whole canon story, whatever. They say they're very old ships or whatever, but I like to think of the Corvettes as they're already old ships in this era, but they've been passed down for 3,000-4,000 years since KOTOR, although this is obviously a different and newer model, But let's say
kinda
it's a
looks
few
like
hundred years
the,
old.
I believe it was called the Thranta class.
The
that
Thranta was in SWTOR.
Yeah, SWTOR.
Yeah, that was awesome. And the Thranta class Hammerhead looks a lot like the Hammerhead Corvette here, and in Rebels, and so it's awesome if you connected with the Old Republic. It's awesome how you can see it here, especially since it's crashed or ruined or whatever, destroyed. Similarly, if I remember correctly, in the EU, HK-47 comes back.
Yeah, he's like on Mustafar.
Mustafar.
And there's like a crashed Hammerhead, and he like takes control of like a droid army or something like that.
Yeah, on
then he goes to
Mustafar.
enslave the galaxy. It's like during time of the Empire or post-Empire.
Empire, I think, during the.
I think that was in Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not completely sure. You know what would be cool to see in this series, although it's probably never gonna happen. If we went to Taris and it was a lush green world, not completely like a world city like Coruscant is, like after 3,000 years, it's
Mhm.
Not fully recovered from the bombardment of Malak, and see a Endar Spire crashed or like a museum around it or something like that.
I mean, that's what I'm doing in my High Republic series. When we go
Why
to
can't they
Taris,
just? Why can't they just go to Korriban?
They did in the Clone Wars, slightly. They went to the Valley of the Dark Lords with Yoda.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's called Korriban anymore. I think they changed the name.
Yeah, to
yeah,
more
they
bands.
did, but
Korriban and the location itself.
No,
So
they
good.
didn't change the location. That's the thing.
No, they changed the name to Moraban.
And
Mhm.
they did it simply. I remember it was George Lucas's idea because he didn't want the viewers who were only watching the series to mix it up with Coruscant.
I
Because,
mean, there
Yeah,
really
he also didn't
there
want,
really
like,
is no
the
similarities to the
sound.
name to a degree.
One's a C, one's a K, George.
Coruscant, Korriban.
But when you look at the page, because since season 6 is still considered EU, they simply said that Korriban had multiple names. Like, it's an easy explanation, no problem at all. Maybe
I guess so.
Moraband is like a modern name for Korriban. At least the Jedi call it that way, although the Sith keep it Korriban still,
Yeah, because they don't want people to explore it and all that, and
Yeah.
come across any Sith teachings. And
How cool would it have been if in that season when Yoda's trekking across Korriban, he's like, "Oh, hey, Ashrad Het, what are you doing here?"
Yeah. Although that's a bit too early for.
yes,
Yeah.
because that was after Order 66.
Yeah.
That happened during the reign of the Empire. It happened after. I don't think they ever say when the Shard Het went to Korriban.
He went there after. It was after Order 66. He goes back to Tatooine, takes control of a couple of Tusken Raider tribes.
Then he's defeated by Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Korriban.
Yeah. Obi-Wan cuts his arm off.
Yeah, that happens in 17 BBY. That's what we know. And after he becomes a mercenary for some time, but we don't know how much time before he went to Korriban.
Well, it can't be too long because he.
He is maybe
in the Legacy graphic novels, he's not that old. He's maybe in his 40s.
I'm gonna have to check that, but maybe during the Dark Times era, he is in his 40s. I'm not sure.
Because when he's on Korriban, he's in stasis, being kept watch over by Darth Warlock.
Oh, yeah, that's
Varg.
much later. That's much later. I mean,
Yeah.
when he was taught by, how do you pronounce this? The dark Sith lady in Spirit from Korriban that taught him to be a Sith or whatever.
I always
Xok-San.
pronounce
How do you say
as
it?
like Zozan or something like that.
Oh. Mhm. I guess it's probably maybe 10 BBY. I don't know. It's just a blind guess because when he gets off Korriban, suddenly the Empire is completely gone. There is no Vader, Palpatine. He can't get revenge. Time passes by differently there, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the episode. We're gonna skip quite a bit of it now because we've been already talking about most of it. But
Was the Scrappers Guild a thing before this episode?
yeah, it was in Jedi Fallen Order. Although Jedi Fallen Order is based 5 years after this event.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
14.
So it's been
14
referenced.
BBY.
I was just wondering if it had been referenced before this.
Yeah, Braca is not new. We've already seen it.
Oh no! I know about Braca, but I was just wondering about the Scrappers Guild. I didn't pay that much attention to Jedi Fallen Order, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the guy, the friend of Cal Kestis, actually mentioned the Scrappers. I mean, they were the Scrappers Guild technically then.
Right.
I think. Also, the thing that swam here, is that a Rathar, like from The Force Awakens, or some shit like that?
I thought they were going to make it
Probably.
this. I thought they were going to make it the same monster that was in the Death Star
Oh, the Dianaga.
trash compactor.
It might have
Yeah.
been. I don't know.
I don't think it was.
It seems like a Rathar, but the thing is, I didn't really like that thing because I didn't like the sequels. I'm like, just get me away from the sequel. Anything sequel, no.
Yeah.
But I found out that SWTOR actually made them part of the EU, the Rathars, in Knights of the Eternal Throne. Like, briefly mention it. Which is cool, I guess, then. Because it's EU. For some reason, I get some Rey vibes here, which I don't like.
Yeah, her scavenging and going throughout all the stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, but this is 10 times better, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Clone Wars era equipment. Technically, Clone Wars era equipment is much better in every single way than Empire.
Yeah, it's a lot more efficient.
All of it, basically. It looks better, it's stronger, more durable. The quality simply seems better.
Yeah, it's made to be specialized because in the Empire, the Tarkin doctrine is pretty much the same as the Separatist, right? Use overwhelming brute force, just
Make everything
swarm.
overpowered but inefficient.
Yeah, like send 10,000 stormtroopers that can barely shoot, fresh out of the academy. I don't care. They're going to hit something eventually, as opposed to 1,000 elite, highly trained clone troopers.
You know what's stupid about it? Because in the Bad Batch, in like the third episode with the Empire side of it, the Admiral, whatever his name is trying to get the Empire to recruit, soldiers or whatever. And he's like, the most elite of the galaxy, blah, blah, blah. And we all know where that's heading.
Oh, yeah. Admiral, I'm going to introduce social security numbers. That's basically what those chain codes are.
Yep, just an average social security number.
And the thing is, we all know it's leading to shitty stormtroopers they can't shoot.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's, to me, that kind of explains why Obi-Wan thought the way he did in Episode 4 when he's telling Luke, these blast points are only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise. He's still thinking of Clone Wars era like clone troopers. He's not thinking modern day like shitty aim stormtroopers.
Maybe, although at the same
Makes
time,
sense.
if you remember, the 501st Legion of pure Jango Fett clones is under Vader's command when they attacked the Tantive 4. There's still if you remember the good old Tamara Morrison narration in Battlefront 2, the campaign.
Yeah.
So many
There's
memories.
still
Yeah.
the 501st still. And
So
when you
he's-
look at, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so he's still referencing clone troopers though. He's not thinking, he's not thinking that they're clone troopers. He's thinking they're stormtroopers, like fresh out of the academy. He doesn't know they're clones.
He doesn't, but maybe he just didn't have anything to do with stormtroopers for 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Like fight him. Maybe he remembers the times when they were actually quality soldiers at the beginning, before they.
Yep.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, it was the Empire's motto, quantity over quality. Or not
Yeah.
really their motto, but just...
Same with the Soviet Union, basically. Although they won, when you look at it. Technically, the
Yep.
Republic would be Nazi Germany because they had quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Although these guys had more of it. And that's what wins at the end of the day.
Quality triumphs over all.
And then you have the Swedes, which is the Hapes Consortium.
And then you just have the Swiss who don't do anything.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the banking clan.
No, it's weird because Switzerland, they're neutral throughout everything. kind of
Also, when we're what would be the Techno Union then?
Techno Union, Japan, because they make all the PS4s and cars and things.
yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Okay, we've come to the juicy part of the episode, the Order 66. You mentioned that they retconned the that it's only meant to kill Jedi, but maybe it's as far as I can tell, it's more. It seems like it's generally meant to control the clones to be obedient. Like, remember how they reacted to the first Galactic Empire when Sidious introduces it, and Tech's like, "You still think the regs are not programmed?"
Yeah, I like that part. That was cool. Well, so according to Wikipedia, Clone Protocol 66 was a top secret order identifying all Jedi as traitors to the Galactic Republic and therefore subject to summary execution by the Grand Army of the Republic. Nothing in there about sympathizers or clone traitors. Like if you go through the rest of the article, it just talks about, killing the clones, and then a couple of excerpts of some stories about Fives and Anakin and the implementation of the order. Says nothing about killing anybody else but the Jedi. So I do believe this is a very soft retcon.
Yeah, it might be, generally speaking. You remember when we talked about the first episode with the clones in the cafeteria, which I think we've come to the conclusion that they are not under the influence of the chip. They're probably new clones, maybe the Sparty clones. Who knows?
Could
Because
be.
they have no customizations. They're all shinies. Maybe they were basically born in the Empire, never knew the Republic or anything, and are not under the control of the chips due to how they react to, they joke around, what they do. While the other clones in the corridors, the Coruscant Guard, are completely dead serious all the time.
Right.
Which appears that they're all under the chip in that regard. I think there's a difference between the ones who were already serving and the ones who were new.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But I think they're probably Sparty clones, the ones that grow very fast, since they should be at least 7-8 years old, technically, at that point in time, which would mean that they already existed during the Republic. So who knows? But I've noticed the differences in behavior.
Yeah, I noticed that with the lack of armor customization or artwork or anything like that, because all throughout the Clone Wars, you saw with just regular clones, right? Not even anybody special like Rex or Jesse or Fives, but all of the regular clones, a lot of them had like little specializations on their armor pauldrons or their helmets or breastplates or whatever.
Tattoos, beards, facial hair.
Yeah, all these new guys, nothing. They're all just cookie cutters.
And I remember in the first episode, there's the scene when I think it's after the cafeteria scene. Everyone in the corridors on Camino has white armor, completely. Every single clone. You don't even see the Camino Guard anymore. Only the Coruscant Guard still have the red on them.
Right.
And they keep the red as far as I know, because they're the special Palpatine's guys from Coruscant, the most loyal or whatever. But you can see the Camino Guard is completely white, I'm guessing, because they never showed them again in the gray armor markings. So it seems that on Camino, they already painted everyone white, the guys who were already there.
Right.
Although then you have the 501st in the EU under Commander Vil, who still have blue markings 1 year after Revenge of the Sith, and then suddenly get completely white armor. When Vader throws Commander Vil off the ledge when he asks if there's an order to take him out.
Right.
He's like a commander, and he's completely white, like the regular ones.
I like that meme that says Vader keeps hiring Boba Fett because he reminds him of Rex.
Yeah. Why not?
So,
Despite Boba Fett trying to kill him at one point
oh yeah,
in that comic, it makes an interesting relationship between the two because they work together later. Despite that, seems kind of professional and as if the two respect each other.
you know what would have made episode 2 great?
What?
If whenever Boba Fett picks up his dad's helmet, if his head falls out of it.
I
Someone
would
did an edit. Yep.
Yeah, you can actually see the head flying out of the helmet as Mace Windu cuts it.
Oh,
Yeah, you can see like a shadow on the ground if you look closely.
Oh god, so it already flew out. Ugh.
interesting.
Do you guys think that Jango Fett is underrated? Because I'd consider him the best bounty hunter of them all.
He was very underrated. Although I think if you have Django versus Dirge, all Dirge has to do is the same thing he did to Obi-Wan in the animated show from 2003, and like wrap Django up inside of his like oily tentacle body and suffocate him.
Yeah, although Dirge is a completely different deal. I'm guessing he could take out a Sith Lord, or a weaker one at least.
I bet he could. I bet Django versus Savage, Django would win.
Yeah, because he uses his brain, unlike Savage. So,
Yeah,
unlike
Savage
Savage.
just charged like a berserker, and then he outsmarted him.
Definitely. Yeah, I think after reading the open seasons, like for the first time, I had so much more respect for the character of Django. It made him such a badass, killing the 6 Jedi with his bare hands on Galdran. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
Bare hands, like using his armor, helmet, or whatever. Smash that teeth in, or whatever. Okay.
here we go. Wrecker's Brock Lesnar moment.
Anyway, opinions on the overall sound design and reaction to how it all happened. I really liked how he caught his arm.
Yeah, I think it's so
That was really
eerie.
cool.
It
Mhm.
was.
He
It was.
Like, you know it's coming, but it's just like, all right, we're gonna extract that chip from you, and then he's all right, and then psych, don't touch me.
They made it like a horror film. It was. It was so cool. Like if this was at least PG-13 rated live action film, Wrecker would have torn somebody's arm off. Like the I agree. I think the sound design kind of makes this scene, at least for me, because we knew this was going to happen. We knew the chip was eventually going to take over Wrecker. But the way they do it with, all the dark imaging and the sound design. I mean,
so
look at
chilling.
Wrecker's face. He's never made that face before. He's completely
Yeah, this
different
is a-
record ball.
Serious psycho face. You know what
Yeah,
the
he
Bad
looks
Batch
legitimate
needs is like a
face.
droid. For every time Wrecker gets mad, he can just,
Lift.
go, yeah, or go all out on the droid and just smash it.
I mean, that's what Gonki's for.
Yeah,
Even in the Clone Wars, I think he lifted him like in 2 different scenes. The Gonk droid. That's all it's for.
Yep.
It's not like they need power. It's just for him to lift.
Not to
Yeah.
lift and do squats. And so
Workout droid.
Omega can be cute and call him Gonky.
I think in regarding to this scene, I could have immediately guessed that it was going to happen with Tech next to him for some reason. Tech just seems like he seems like the smallest guy of the group, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
like he would get the first beating or touch. I mean, he's very reactionable. I just want to find his face. For some reason, it's not skipping where I want it to. Damn it. Give me a sec. Oh, this. There it is. The surprise on his face is...
Oh, you mean Tech's oh shit moment?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Anyway, awesome scene. AK, you alive, mate? Fall asleep?
Looks
Yeah,
like he
probably.
did, yeah.
Yeah, you probably fell asleep.
Yeah, but it's 3:20 a.m.
I'm
So-
here. I'm here. What's the question? I'm alive.
No, it's no worries, mate. I know it's very late where we're at, so
What's the
guys.
question? Just, are we coming to the good part right now?
yeah, we're on the good part.
Uh huh.
The Terminator wrecker scene.
The best parts of the episode. Maybe not the best part, but definitely in top two. Like he went full on Predator with Terminator fusion between two of them on their asses.
Yeah, that's very interesting because when you look at it, he has one white eye. It's kind of reminiscent of Terminator, and just look at his size, and he's unstoppable. So, although for some reason, I think if Crosshair was here, he would be able to take out Wrecker for some reason.
Probably. Just outsmart or something like that.
Shoot him in the back.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
I guess he
Pooping his-
wouldn't hesitate or something.
Poop in his hand. Poop in his hand.
But after watching this, it just seems that if Wrecker was not a lovable guy as he is, like if he was full on Order 66, under control of the chip, he's probably the toughest clone that there is. I'd say he would take out anyone without a problem.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Do you think he
That-
could
that's what I would
physically overpower like an average Jedi?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, if Savage Press could do it.
yeah, definitely. And let's say, Wrecker can take out his entire squad by himself without a problem. If he's constantly in the same mindset here, he's the ultimate badass soldier that questions nothing and is almost unstoppable. I think he would be able to take out Jedi without a problem because of the mindset. Because when you look at it, he's technically a good guy. He would never do what he did here. But if it was like this, it's game over for anyone, I think.
I mean, do you know what this reminds me of? Like it's fight or flight, but instead of flight, just fight, just that.
Yeah. Did you see Wrecker's reaction to Rex pulling the blaster on him? It was very quick.
He pulled some Slade Wilson on Oliver Queen there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, some Terminator stuff. I think it was very, very interesting how they used the stun shoots, how Wrecker takes Echo by the face and throws him at Rex while Rex is about to shoot him with his stun.
I saw those canisters and I thought that they were those cannon shells. I was like, oh no, they're gonna explode.
When they finished the fight, for some reason, I had a feeling that Wrecker wasn't gonna wake up. Like I was literally, is he really gonna die?
I had
For a
that
moment.
exact feeling too.
I would have quit so hard. I would have rage quit. I Control Alt Delete Task Manager Exit Application. I would have been so mad.
Yeah, it will be a disappointment, honestly. Too soon, anyway.
Then they would
I
have
mean-
to go back to Camino and say, "Hey, Rekka died. We need another one."
Can you do the impression of Wrecker when he's like Order 66 or whatever? You're a traitor.
You are in direct violation of Order 66. Prepare to be wrecked.
Shreked.
No, that's pretty spot on.
You know what? I think some guy could use your voice. He's making a Stormtrooper X mini fan film,
Sure, I do it.
and he needs some good voices. And I'm like, I'll find someone, or we could do it, or whatever. In regards to what he needs. So I'll keep you posted if he needs anything, if that's fine by you.
Yeah, I could do that.
You've heard about Stormtrooper X, probably.
I've heard of it, haven't looked into it.
Very, very obscure but interesting character. He definitely needs some fan fiction to make it work much better.
That's cool. There's somebody I'm following right now that's been doing a lot of really cool stuff. Darth and Angelus and Angela. I don't know how to pronounce the second thing here. Angelus.
I think I've noticed the channel.
He's been making the Heir to the Empire, these Heir to the Empire animated videos.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
I'm a huge fan of that because it's just him, and he posts these videos of him like actually working on it, and it's really, really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I've watched all of them actually. They're amazing, definitely. And the thing is, he does it really fast. Like every month, you get a new episode, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
For one
I
person.
can't wait till we get that KOTOR series. That's gonna be so cool.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Have you guys heard of the KOTOR series? The fans making.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all computer animated in like the Unreal Engine.
Looks amazing, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You mean the guy who made the Commandos as well, right?
No, not him. Some other guy, a new, let's say, new player in town is working on KOTOR.
Just send me the link.
Yeah, I'll send it to you later. It's something that every Star Wars fan would want to see, but something Disney would never do. For I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's the same story, like in KOTOR, we all played it, we all know the story. It's amazing, but seeing it like a mini series, like imagine if it was an Unreal Engine, an episode 20 minutes long, just like this. Let's say you get 20 episodes and it's KOTOR 1 fully. Wouldn't that be absolutely amazing?
That'd be epic.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple endings.
Even that. Imagine that. Okay, let's move on. What I noticed here with Hunter is I actually expected him to be able to take care of Wrecker because he's like the leader of the squad. Let's say that he knows them all better than.
Yeah, I was about to say that he got overpowered a bit too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look at that face. Didn't expect that. I think that says a lot about Wrecker's strength. Shrekker. Get out of my, what do you call it?
Get out of my swamp.
Yeah, but what would Wrecker say? Get out of my.
This is my explosion. I like to blow things up. Get out of here.
Can you do the part when he's yelling in the cafeteria? I like to blow things up because I like to blow things up. Smashes the table.
I like to blow things up because I like to blow things up. Got it?
Got it. Yeah. And look at that.
He's
face.
a simple man.
Trying to make his way in the universe.
Oh, look at the way
like
his
his
eyes
father
look in that
before
shot.
him.
Just a man just a simple man trying to blow up his way in the universe.
I just want to eat popcorn, candy, and chill with the kid.
Oh, then we come to the very dark part. It's ironic that the thing that she was afraid of is definitely happening here, and everyone is out.
If this was Invincible, spines would have been ripped out of heads, and that child wouldn't have survived another 2 seconds.
Yep, no way. If it was Game of Thrones, until the end of the season, they would have.
Oh, don't go there.
Oh, I don't want to imagine.
You know what's the worst part? If it was Game of Thrones, you'd actually get that despite it being a child.
If this was produced by David Benioff and the other guy, I forget his name.
Dumb and Dumber, you mean?
Yeah, Wrecker would have been like, "You want to know why they call me Wrecker? Let me show you."
Oh no!
Any man who says he likes to wreck is no wrecker at all.
Wrecker? I hardly know her.
Wrecker versus Wreck-It Ralph.
Shrek-It Ralph. Have you seen that
Yeah.
version? Just for me.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on. So I don't think there's much to say about this, unless you guys have something to add. Jedi Knight, your live mate.
Oh, he had a bounce.
Oh, I didn't notice because of the the screen. I can't see what you guys can. And in the end, Rex got him. Yep, that's about it. Although when you look at it, Rex seems like the most. He's technically the most badass when you look at it. The most experienced in. I don't know. Just feel that way.
Yeah.
Despite them being the special forces, Rex is somehow like they said, first generation, which means that he's older than everyone.
He has a little bit more experience.
And plus, he got his
Lot
training
more.
with the Alpha 17 specialized art training program. So
True, but the Clone Commandos got the training from the Mandalorian sergeants that Jango Fett himself picked out. You know, the what do you call them? The CR. Can't remember the name.
Koivaldar.
Yeah, those guys. And I don't know if the Null Arcs are the first clones, right? From Cal Skirata.
Yeah.
Does this mean that Rex is, as old as them? One of those? Or maybe he's one of the first regular ones? If the Null Arcs are, the elite.
If he's Gen 1, then probably. He's probably the same age.
Or maybe he's simply just a different part of the army. They were chosen to be the sons of Cal Skirata, but maybe he was simply the first of the commanders or whatever, the captains.
Mm-hmm.
Commanding officers, who knows? I don't know. But it's interesting because we never even heard anything from that side of him up until now. That is like the first generation, which is what I appreciate about this episode.
yeah, hopefully they expand a bit more on that lore.
Yeah,
It's always interesting to hear more about that.
The
and
end
also
of
the vendor. Yep, go on.
the end of his gun looks like a Lego piece.
It sort of does, yeah.
He's got a Lego gun.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna have to ruin one scene for all of you now. After we finish off with this, I'm gonna find it later. You know the Hound troopers from Coruscant with the hounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have the chain that's holding it, and the end of the chain literally looks like the Lego piece that you attach at the end of the Lego chains.
Huh.
I'm gonna find it for you. It's the same. They took a Lego piece and animated it and put it there.
And that's probably what they did.
Yeah.
Because why bother, right?
I made a meme like a few months back on that and posted it, but
Oh, sure. I mean, why go to the effort of animating anything new when you could just steal?
yeah, but it works.
Sure.
It works.
Sure, yeah.
It works, comrade.
Your artwork. Don't you mean our artwork, comrade?
Your girlfriend? Don't you mean our girlfriend?
Oh, no.
Sharing is
All-
caring.
In this case, it's all our exes live in Texas. Our exes.
Thankfully, Texas is big enough to where I don't have to run into any of them.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. If I live where you guys were, I mean, that'd be almost inescapable.
Not really. If you never
You just
come out
avoid
here.
parts of the town where they live, so you're good.
Yeah, but see, I'm dumb, so I'd forget. And
Why would you even care? Honestly, who cares?
depends on the stories.
Just go with the flow and say, fuck that dumb bitch. Whatever.
Yeah. So this was touching. Like everybody not wanting to leave Wrecker's side.
Mhm.
This was the moment that I thought it was gone. Like, really?
I was like, are they really gonna do it?
Yeah.
Ugh.
They could have made it more convoluted, right? Like, oh well, we removed the chip, but we also removed Wrecker's like
Brain.
put the part of his
What
brain that made him think. So he's in a vegetative state. So now we have to go find another chip to replace it with.
No, I actually thought that they were going to have that maybe some of them, some of the clones was going to have the problem top head. Like, no, Fives. Fives removed his chip and started to go. Oh, actually, no, he didn't. I made a mistake. He went crazy because of what Sidious put into him when he was interrogated.
Yeah.
They wanted to make him seem crazy.
Yeah.
So technically, the chip does nothing when you remove it. It does nothing to you. They just wanted to make it seem that way to cover up the conspiracy. Yeah, I guess that my argument falls apart there. They all went through it fine, and that's about it. Although it begs the question, like, are they going to go and get Crosshair eventually and do the same with him? And how?
I kind of hope.
Same.
Yeah, it's never too late for that. And they're probably going to do it at the very end of the season. That's going to be like the season finale.
Yeah,
Most
like
likely.
maybe he goes on a mission to hunt after them, and then they capture him and then remove the chip.
Yeah, and then they send some Inquisitors after them or something. We'll see.
Yeah, bigger level threat for season 2, or maybe start with Cody, which I'd really like. Like,
Yes.
you know, Cody, the Bad Batch was Cody's guys. You know, when he called them when they were needed. That's what I got from the Clone Wars with the Bad Batch episodes. So I'm guessing that they would send him to deal with them in a way, which would be really cool to see.
Oh yes.
Imagine that.
I'd like to see them go up against some commanders like Apo or Fox.
Before Fox, you know, gets his neck snapped by Vader.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, would be cool, definitely. Or maybe Thyre.
Yeah.
My hope was that one of the Coruscant God captain sergeants commanders with the pauldron was Thyre, but it was just randoms or whatever. Sadly,
You know, the thing is, the more clones they introduce into this show, the better.
yeah, it's gonna make the
Mhm.
series much better, honestly. Especially if they bring some of the more obscure ones from Revenge of the Sith. Like I'd love to see Bly, Neo, Bakara, any one of them.
Yeah. You could do that. I think the pitfall I see coming though is we've already had so many characters that we've known already. We haven't gotten that many new people. Like,
Yeah.
You know, besides
wait.
Sid.
But you know what would be a good part? When you look at the Clone Wars generally, let's say first 2 seasons, you have the more simpler arcs. Like it when I look at it all together, coming up to this here, first 2 seasons of the Clone Wars, you know, simpler stories, you know, Republic good, Separatist bad. That's what you get from it. Simple battles, it's just another battle, but it's still fun, and it introduces a lot of new characters, like generally speaking. Hondo, the first one that came to mind. We already saw Cutler Quain. And, you know, let's say it introduces a lot of allies. And now after the Clone Wars, we have the characters that we know from the Clone Wars who know other characters that we've seen throughout the Clone Wars. And now maybe it's time to, well, pull some favors, get those allies with them. We already saw Saw Gerrera as well. We saw
Mhm.
Cutler
Yeah.
Quain. We're probably going to see Hondo, which, gotta
Well,
love
that's
him.
inevitable.
Yeah, gotta love Hondo. So that's how it seems. Like these are the dark times era. So I'm guessing everyone they met, well, most of them or whatever, if they're still alive, they would try and get their help. Whatever happens, you know.
dark times. We are pirates. We don't even pay light bills. Open fire.
or whatever, just fire. Yeah, it's great. This is a touching moment. I already talked about this at the beginning of the
Oh,
episode.
very,
but-
very.
Yeah, candy popcorn moment.
Yeah, why not? It's enough. Let's be real. Wrecker is a simpleton.
Yeah.
He-
You
He's
can
a
just see the
simpleton.
happiness on his face when he sees food.
That's me. It's me,
For
bro.
some reason,
Pretty sure that's everyone.
Yeah.
for some reason now when I said that he's a simpleton or whatever, or maybe he's just a simple man trying to blow things up in the universe. You know that Bible passage about those how do they say it? Low in spirit? Is that what they say? How it's pronounced?
Oh, what book was that?
Can't remember which one specifically. Well, like blessed are those who are low in. If that's
That
the
sounds familiar.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed generally in life, a lot of people who, let's say, are not educated, know much less, are much happier people. You know, and that's for some reason how I feel with Wrecker. He's not. You can call him dumb or whatever, but he's much more simpler than all the rest of them. He doesn't think much, but he seems like a more positive and happy person. And you know what King Solomon says? Basically, knowledge is like the more you know, the more unhappy you will be.
Yeah, that's you can make that comparison between people like him and say Dr. Manhattan or Professor Xavier, right?
Mhm.
Beings that have the potential to know anything and everything. And what happens to a person whenever they're burdened with not knowing all of, say, the good that can be found in life, but knowing all of its counterpart as well, right? Like what happens to a person when they're faced with every amount of suffering happening in, let's just say, the planet all at once, because there's plenty out there.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Oh boy.
too much to handle, definitely.
right. What does that do to a psyche? Now take all that away, right? And just leave that same person with nothing but simple pleasures, or like say a simple path to fulfillment.
A farmer, let's say.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
let's say Cutler Quain, for example. That type of person.
Right. Now he's Cut's going to be perfectly happy, like on some backwater world somewhere, like that rice farm world in Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Like those people aren't going to have a care in the world, right? They're not going to know about all the atrocities the Empire does. They're just going to kick it, drinking spotchka and raising space rice, right?
Yeah.
But
You
if
know,
if they knew about all the terrible things the Empire was doing, what would that do to him? Like, would it turn him into more Saw Gerreras, or?
Honestly, I've noticed with myself, although we're going into reality a bit, but let's say that humans are the same everywhere. We all have a conscience or whatever. When I went into these serious topics and the things that happen around the world and Hollywood and all the, let's say, evil that is coming from there or whatever, it doesn't work well with the psyche. I'll tell you that. I felt that with myself very much. I literally became very unhappy and not depressed, but pessimistic about everything, or someone would say a realist. But it doesn't work well, honestly. It's better, like Jordan Peterson says, you can't change the world if you can't change yourself. Or go and tidy your room.
Clean your damn room.
But it's true. You can't do anything unless you start with yourself. Yet everyone wants to change the world or whatever.
It's
So,
true.
yeah.
You can't let your own personal chaos dictate your actions that can affect what could potentially spawn even greater chaos in the world around you.
Well, it would if you would let, for some reason I thought of Dark Snowy or BLL or something like that in this case. Just
God.
imagine. I mean, I can just imagine everyone would be an istism or Frolan on Earth in that case, or whatever. Yeah, we got a bit off topic. Touching moment between brother and sister, boys talking or whatever. Have you guys noticed in Star Wars here, like Rex just went away here? He's like, just say hi to me, bye for me to the boys. Like, why didn't he do it himself? He just like went away. For some reason, they do that all the time in everything. To me, that doesn't feel like the way real people would actually act.
No.
Like, I would go and say bye to everyone, and I don't see other people just say, just go away out of the blue.
I didn't care about the Martez sisters at all.
True.
The Martez sisters, it could have been anybody else. I didn't care about them at all. They're just a leftover bit of somewhat forced character development for Ahsoka back in the last season of Clone Wars. They're not the episode arc that I go and rewatch over and over. I don't watch them at all, to be honest. That particular arc. The only cool thing that comes out of it is we get to see the Pikes
And a bit of Maul.
Yeah.
That's true, and that segued into the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah. Honestly, I really wish that we got the arc with Darth Sidious and the Sith Temple underneath the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Imagine that. Every time I think of seeing Sidious again in the Clone Wars, because every time we saw him in action, let's say, it was fantastic. Like the first time we saw him in action, season 5, episode 16, when he comes to take care of Maul and Savage, that's like the best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars, if you ask me. That was bloody epic.
Really well done.
Amazing, honestly. It was so amazing. And even the second time with Yoda, despite it being in his head, generally the visuals and the story of it was fantastic. Because even though it's in Yoda's head, they're technically battling each other as they would in real life, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Mm-hmm. In a way.
Yeah, in a way, but I don't know, it was just fantastic. Imagine seeing him one more time or for example, imagine seeing Sidious fight against Maul and the possessed Dooku, like in the Son of Dathomir comic.
Ooh, that would have been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to see the puppet master.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a very unique style of fighting, with the saber and everything.
Elegant, but still destroys everything around himself. I remember when he's with Maul and Savage in the duel. The first thing he does, he carves like circles around himself with his lightsaber before he defends against them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's enjoying it.
Does he use Force Scream in that fight?
No, he didn't use it. But who used Force Scream? The same one. Maul against Ahsoka.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed that. That was a really nice touch.
You know what would have been a nice touch? If Rex turned his damn light on his helmet when he was walking through the mist when he was leaving. How does he see? It's night. There's mist.
I'm guessing the point was for him to just disappear and for the Brockens to the guild to only see Hunter.
There's holes in the ground, Rex.
Yeah, this really is a tough mist. You know, it would be ironic if we let's pretend that Rebels didn't happen for a moment. Rex
Please.
just went off, accidentally fell off the banner and died.
That'd be pretty dark in a funny way.
Imagine such a stupid ending for such an amazing character. I'd kill myself.
Oh my gosh, that would be awful.
Yep. There he goes, yeah. Rex, immediately dead. That's about it.
I've seen you use your helmet light on Umbara. I know you have it, Rex. Turn it on.
Yo, do we see this speeder in what's it called?
Fallen Order?
Yeah. Do we see that on Braca?
I'm gonna have to check that in my
Maybe
recording.
like when they're falling down. Maybe, I'm not sure.
I think we probably see him multiple times in the background or something.
Probably. I'll have to go look back and play the game again.
I don't much appreciate how much they made these scrapper face masks look like the Revan mask.
Oh, look at the colors.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't even notice the colors. They're the same ones with. It's definitely the Scrapper Guild.
Yep.
But you know what I don't understand about it? Like, let's say it's been a few months and they're already tied to the Empire and immediately calling the Empire. But if you remember, in Jedi Fallen Order, the Scrapper Guild wasn't really optimistic about the Empire. They didn't like him. They were complaining. The guy, the friend of Cal Kestis, was complaining, if you remember. Like, you treat us like, you know, like we're trash or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool that they still have the blue and orange on them. I just noticed that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe this is like Cal Kestis right next to him, or maybe it's Cal Kestis' friend, one of these two guys. Still loyal to the new regime, but would change his mind later.
Could be.
Oh, look, the Arbiter. Or Arbiter. Thank you very much, mate, for the €2.
The Arbiter.
Honestly, the €2 are much better than the $2.
Are they?
Yes.
Yeah, worth more.
Really?
Look, let's say it this way: $1 American is in our what do you call it?
RSD.
Yeah. It's 100 of them here.
No, it's not.
Serbia.
It's even lower now.
It's even lower now. But
Yeah, I think it's about 90 something.
95, something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
something like that.
let's say that it was 100. You know,
and then this is 117 right now.
Yeah, but it used to be 125. So euros.
It used to be, yeah.
Euros a bit more. Although the English got it best. And also there's the Qatar dinner. It's like 300. It's like 3 times the value of $1.
Interesting.
It's Saudi Arabia, you know. That's how
well, they're freaking loaded, so.
Yeah, they got snow. They got indoor snow mountains in the middle of the stinking desert.
Yeah, I actually saw that, the ice skating thing.
That's crazy.
I flew over Dubai a few times when I used to live in Australia, but you know. So I guess that's it on the episode.
These episodes, tell me what you guys think about this, but these episodes to me seem like they're really short.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
not a
kinda
lot
getting
of-
that feeling too. It seems like I was just watching 10 minutes and then it's halfway done.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Like, it's 22 minutes per episode, right? So when you watch 10, it's pretty much it.
You know what's
Like
the
you
worst
saw.
part? This episode is 3 minutes longer than the usual ones, which are 22.
Man,
Oh man.
Sure didn't feel like it.
no.
And for some reason, why do I have a feeling like every single episode of the Clone Wars, which was always 22 minutes since I watched it as a kid, it felt longer. every one of them than this now. Maybe it's just I'm grown up and life sucks. Maybe that's
I don't know, man.
Who
It's just
knows?
this feels pretty short.
Oh, I was just reminded of one of the only parts I really cared for in the previous episode, where they're in the shootout with those police droids, and one of the Martez sisters says something, and the other one says it back. She's like, "Is there an Echo in here?" And Echo's like, "Yes."
That was pretty good. Yes.
I'm Echo. Oh.
Yeah, that was good. Also, guys, I'm gonna show. Just keep on talking. I'm just gonna show you something real cool right now.
Will you now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what we need. We need more Irishmen, Northern Irishmen, in this universe.
No,
Liam
we
Neeson wasn't enough.
need Shrek, the Scottish accent.
My lord.
Here's the Lego piece.
Oh, you hella right. That's
Yeah, that is
absolutely.
exactly what it is.
I think I ruined this scene forever. Now every time you watch this, you're gonna see a Lego piece.
I want to know what the Republic Coruscant Guard is doing with a whole bunch of Tusken Raider dogs.
We did a lore video and they use them.
Like, is that the optimum like hunting hound in the galaxy? Is this dog spiky creature from Tatooine?
I'm actually not sure, but I think they're not just in Tatooine.
I would have thought that would have been the Anubas from the Citadel.
Wait, just trying to remember. What are they called again?
Anubas.
Are you fact checking right now?
They're those dog things from the Citadel episode that they used to hunt down the party.
For some reason, not a single thing came out when I.
It's probably you didn't type it in right.
Oh yeah, I remember those that killed Evan Peel. Yeah.
Yeah, those things.
Who knows? But I just can't find them. Probably didn't type it right. But I know what you mean. Although I think this is a much better choice than using the those crappy hounds from Solo.
Do you think that in the Citadel arc they have the same Lego piece on them?
No.
That's funny.
The minute it demands a sacrifice.
It'd be hilarious if it didn't. You had one job.
It would be cool if we actually saw them in live action to see if they also have a live action Lego piece.
That would be amazing if they just kept that in.
Yeah, you gotta love Lego. Anyway, guys, I think that's it on the review, the stream.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's almost 4 a.m. here, so we're dead.
And hey, look, Todd, we didn't go 2 hours this time. We went 2.5. How about that?
Yeah,
Wow.
2.5.
Honestly, if
Dude, I was so.
What?
No, go ahead. Keep talking.
If I had the time, if it wasn't 4 a.m., I could go on for about 3 more hours. But the thing is, for some reason, StreamYard likes to limit 1 month. You only have 20 hours a month if you don't pay anything. So that sucks.
Lisa back.
Rissa back.
What up?
Rissa girl.
I fell asleep. I'm back. What's going on?
Yeah, I kind of guessed that. I almost fell asleep.
Wait, are we done?
Yes.
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
Time really does fly, huh?
guys, we're doing this because of your different time zone, basically, and for the viewers.
Yeah, I think when we started this, we actually started at 10 our time, but now we're 4 hours into it.
Yeah,
or four
not a
4 hours later. Yeah.
7 p.m. where I'm at.
Only 7? Damn.
Yeah, it's
Lucky.
a minute away from 9 where I am.
Really, a 2 hour difference between Texas and the West Coast.
Yeah, the States has 4 time zones, I think.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4.
You know, when you said that, I remember when I was learning something regarding geography. Russia has 12.
Mhm.
Of course they do.
Damn.
I mean, it's a country or 2 continents. So
Well, technically, there were even 3 continents.
yeah, back in the day with the Katarina the Great ruled the empire, Russia's empire.
Alaska used to be that. They probably
Mhm.
had even 2 more, 14 or something like that. Time zones.
God.
Who knows? Also, isn't Alaska bigger than Texas?
I think so.
That's the way it seems on the map. At least, I don't know.
Certainly by land, but not in terms of population.
I mean, it's way colder over there, right?
Yeah, of course. It's the north.
Mm.
So
All
yeah,
right.
guys.
You guys
just
want to
gonna
cut
finish
this?
finish off this live stream, and just you guys want to, how would I say this?
Yeah, so thank you guys for being here as always, and thank you guys for watching. For those of you who are watching, and we'll hope to
Yeah.
see you in the next one.
Yeah,
And
that
not
was
falling
pretty
asleep
fun.
like me.
And of course, check out Iron Inquisitor's YouTube channel. He also talks about Star Wars, does reviews on books and all sorts of things. And of course, Sci-Fi Unchained is the podcast of Logan, the Texas man. And we did a podcast together. You can check it out. Everything's going to be linked in the description, and some of it already is, just so you know. So yeah, and Art by AK makes Star Wars art. Also has a YouTube channel. Link is in the description below. Check it out.
Well, he's not asleep, I have to add.
Not anymore, huh?
Now
Too bad
back to
Jedi Knight
editing.
Yeah, too bad Jedi Knight left us. Just want to mention this. Probably on the 15th or something like that, we're going to be doing a fixing the High Republic stream. You guys are, of course, welcome to join us then, if you're free. Basically, Jedi Knight, the guy that had to go, is trying to fix the High Republic, the woke trash that it is, and simply use the character designs and names to create something better, a better story. So yeah, you guys are welcome to join if you're free on, I think it's Tuesday, something like that.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't know much about the High Republic, so.
Me
Me
neither.
neither.
The thing is, I know absolutely nothing. That's how much I don't care about the High Republic. But this guy's gonna try and make it better, so I'm gonna try it, and try and listen.
Well, yeah. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and end this. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. God bless.
See you later.
Take care, guys.
All the best.
Have a good one.